Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Hey guys, welcome to Tinfoil Hat, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studios. Go to samtripoli.gold, use the promo code Tinfoil, and get in on the precious metals game for as little as $50 a month. Sent right to your house. Today we got a great episode for you. We're going to get into the spiritual breakdown of this realm, this prison planet, your health, fighting the lizard people, the energy vampires, and more. I'm very excited to welcome your guest. Dude, he went huge with his post-fight victory speeches. He has a podcast or a radio show he calls King Bao Radio. I'm very excited to finally have him on. We've been dancing the dance, and we've got it. Please welcome to the show, King Bao. How are you, buddy?
Oh, long time no stew.
Yeah, it's been a while, buddy. Well, it's been a while. I know you come into town every once in a while, and either I'm busy or something just happens, and we haven't been able to connect, but here we are. We're in it. For our listeners who may not be familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, bud, and where they can find you?
Absolutely. King Bao TV on Instagram. I am the big fat retard who wears a copper crown. And if you want a copper crown, you can connect me and I will get you a copper crown. This is what we do.
This is what we do. Before we get into everything, I just want to say something real quick. If you go to my Twitter, at Sam Tripoli, one of the first posts you'll see, just go to my highlights. I am helping Antonio Brown, AB. He is fundraising for a guy that is in trouble because he tried to get a job and he put his kids at the playground at McDonald's, and we could have a discussion on that, but he's been arrested, and I just want to say, dude, that I am trying to help this guy. I donated to his thing, so if you go to samtripoli.com, you hit the highlights, you will find the GoFundMe to help the guy who is going through some legal problems right now. I think we should help dads make it happen. So we hit our goal, but let's just help this guy, dude, because dads wanting to be better for their family, that's what it's at. So just go to Sam Tripoli on Twitter and click the link, and anything, $5, $10, whatever, help them out. I think it would be great. Damn, someone gave 2G to that. Damn. Good for them, man. Swaggy. Thank you, Swaggy C. King, how are you, dude?
I like being on my own. It's nice.
Well, whatever you got set up, it's nice. And you got a good pipe. I can see XG drooling over there. Look at that. The way he's looking at that pipe.
Like Gandalf's pipe there.
Right?
How would you describe the pipe, guys? It's a wooden pipe.
It's like a wizard's pipe.
Yeah.
It looks like you're the Black Wizard, dude.
Bro,
Sick.
you're starting to figure it out. Yes.
Oh, and you
Yes,
got a
this is my
light.
Morpheus pipe.
You have a what is that? You're lighting.
It's a wick, so he doesn't no chemicals.
You're the Black Wick, dog.
Hey, smart man. He knows. You got to use the hemp wick. You're not a real smoker if you don't use hemp wick. Don't put the flame to the weed. You burn it too hot. Don't be. You just have to take the hemp wick and then you put it in here like this. And then it's clean. And then you just get the herb.
And that's what it's all about, the herb. So how are you, man? I mean, like, what's new? What's going on with you?
We're trying to avoid World War III. We have to shift consciousness before that happens. So I'm breaking the matrix with videos. I slept 3 hours last night because I stayed up all night to post the video that I just posted. It's currently going viral on Instagram about everything that's happening in our world today. And if we don't shift ourselves into 5D consciousness, so that's what's happening.
Yeah, we're in interesting times right now, dude. Is this your comedy special? Offensive. We should get you and the
Yes.
Dangerous Retards together, and then we'll have offensive, dangerous retards, which I'm
Hey,
all
I'm all
for.
about it. I'm all about it, man.
I am too, dude. I am all for it. I think it's important. You know, I was having a conversation with, Tino Sanchez from Tinfoil Hat.
Yes, of course.
He was talking about how he has, he thinks the internet, because I've always talked about how the internet, why don't you follow him, XG? Give him a follow. Why don't you do that? There we go.
I gotta sign in.
You gotta sign in. That the internet, that I thought the internet got away from them, but he thinks this is what they did on purpose. Jamie Hanna, I believe is Jay Dyer's last name. Can we call her Jamie Dyer? She came on the show and she said something I thought was so smart, and it's really like just stuck with me. And that is that the internet and our social media and these algorithms, in particular, the algorithms, have become the new Tower of Babel. And they're making it so we can't talk to each other. So I find it very interesting. So I'm glad you're doing it. I'm big on what you're talking about. We're living in a crazy time. If you go to Yuri Belvanov or however you pronounce his last name, he talked about like there is a stage of demoralization, and I think we're balls deep in that stage right now, and that's coming from the king of the moose knuckle. I don't know if you guys saw that picture, but my balls hanging tight.
Couldn't miss it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for reposting.
It was everywhere.
That.
Yeah.
Thank you for reposting that, Chad.
You're welcome.
That we are, in this thing with Trump and Iran right now. This looks like a lot like demoralization to a bunch of people who fought very hard to try to get rid of the Marxists. And what are your whole thoughts on all that?
I think that the religious books are the oldest form of programming.
Ooh,
And
interesting.
I think that everybody that is living in fear is living in fear-based programming and co-collectively creating this reality through the collectivization of their religions. You have the Christians who believe that revelation must happen to have their Messiah come back. You also have the Muslims who believe something similar, and then you have, the Jews who believe that they have to sacrifice cows to have their Messiah come back. And all of it is to lead to World War III, which, again, it's just a big religious ploy, and I feel like we have to raise above the fear, otherwise we all co-create consciousness into reality. So I think that the best thing that we can do is to stop living in fear and giving Satanist pedophile folks power while they harvest our loosh.
I totally agree. So I have my theories. What is your theory on how that happens? How do we as a group? Because I can understand why people be like, I'm kind of over all of it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. So I want to get more into practical actions that we can take to kind of break the matrix, to the matrix is real and how to break the matrix. What is your thoughts on how to do all that?
So I did a video 2 weeks ago. It took me 3 weeks to do. I had a conversation with ChatGPT where I basically broke down the book called The Illuminatus Trilogy. The Illuminatus Trilogy is the book that ultimately is the book from 1975 that is the reason behind the Illuminati card game. It also helped inspire the movie The Matrix and the Da Vinci Code. But basically, in 1975, if you're familiar with the Illuminati card game, they were calling all this shit.
I agree.
And when you really dive into the cards and you dive into that book, you would see that they're almost making fun of humanity. And it's almost comical. And my spiritual mentor told me many years ago that comedy is the highest form of enlightenment. So very interesting how comedy is now pretty much bigger than what it's ever been. We're seeing Kill Tony kind of revolutionize how fast consciousness is shifting. And I believe why that's happening is because we're entering the 5D and we're trying to find ways to take the shadows and turn them into light, instantaneously. Comedy does that. That's why comedy is comedy. You can take the darkest things and gain perspective and wisdom by looking at it in a completely different perspective than what you might have originally. And so, how do we shift into the 5D? Well, there's stuff called neurolinguistic programming that literally helps you instantaneously shift phobias, fears, and beliefs. I went viral, I think it was 5 years ago on TikTok, Dick Talk, as I like to call it, because they all suck dick. And I went viral on TikTok, and it was for a neurolinguistic programming video. And I taught people how to instantaneously heal their trauma. Quick rundown of how to do that, because we're in a war and the war is on the mind, and the mind is the body and the spirit, because the all is mind. So if they can fuck your emotions. So here's how to be you realize that thoughts create. That's the first thing. Realize thoughts create, and that every sensation that you have in your body, your physiological sensation, is linked to a memory or something that makes you feel it. So all you have to do is essentially think of the fear, the phobia, the trauma, the pain, the terror, the horror, the bad dream, the whatever it is. Find where it's vibrating in your body and making you feel something. And then the moment you can bring your awareness to that feeling, you move it to your hand. This is my method. You move it to your hand, because the moment you bring your awareness to where that pain or that phobia or that trauma is, we take control over it.
I agree.
Let me say it again. We take control over it when we bring our awareness to it. Most people want to ignore their problems. That's not get what's happening overseas. It's not, ignoring it is not enough. We must go to it and then move the energy. The moment we move it to our hand, we use our mind to visualize that energy turning into a white light. And as it's turning into a white light, it's leaving your hand and it's leaving your body. And the moment that you feel that it's completely gone from your hand, put your hand down and celebrate the fact that you just released what you needed to shift into 5D consciousness.
So much what you're talking about right there is something I was blessed to learn in recovery, which is like to not ignore your trauma by doing drugs and you know, numbing out and detaching from what's going on in your life. It really is about becoming a first responder to your own issues, is like running full head steam into it and dealing with it right there. And that's the whole thing. There's so much drug abuse out there right now because of people just can't come to grips with what's going on in their life. You know, a big thing is forgive your parents. Forgive your parents, because, you know, where you are right there in that moment is exactly the same thing your parents are going through. When you feel lost, you feel you don't know how to change your life. Your parents are doing that exact same thing. You know, I remember being young and thinking that, oh, these adults, they know, they have the answer. They know everything. And then you grow up, you go, oh, they didn't know nothing. They were just flying by the seat of their pants. They didn't know what they were, just trying to survive as well. And yeah, the psyops seem to be a lot stronger. You know, I do believe that, you know, I when you said kill Tony and 5D in the same sentence, I was like, wow, what a interesting time we live in, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, all these people out there, you know, it's like, look at Kurt Metzger. He's turned to the light, and like he's so good at what he's doing right now and how he's able to describe everything that's going on that it's really resonating with people. I see him getting a lot of great traction going on, talking about things that people need to hear. And he's so respected that he's brought into these high level shows, and he's able to disseminate really important information that a lot of people, like maybe on this show, where people might see people looking for conspiracies run to because they see the name tinfoil hat. But, you know, there's also people that see the name tinfoil hat and run away because, you know, they don't want to be called a crazy conspiracy theorist. But, you know, just him being able to disseminate this wonderful information is so important. And again, going back to recovery, I know my problems. I work on my problems daily. Every day I work on my problems, and I don't, you know, We've had Adam Green on the show many times. Adam Green's it fits along what you just said, King Bao, about, the false reality of organized religion and how it kind of traps you. And that's why here, and I say this, I do this all the time on Twitter. I do it on the show. I am part of no group.
Facts.
Going back to old school tinfoil hat, the
Yes.
Ronin, dude, the masterless samurai. It's like I have Jesus in my heart. I love Jesus Christ. I go with what my feelings are about him, and not what I'm told by both sides that are crazy and want to detach from God. It's like that meme I put out that got a lot of love on Instagram, which was that scene from Sunny in Philadelphia where he's like, all the lines are pointing to each other, and it was a meme that was perfect for what I believe, which is I didn't find God through church. I found God by going deep down the rabbit hole and realizing that I found God by going deep into these rabbit holes and realizing that at the nexus, is that the word I'm looking for? Nucleus or
Nucleus is the thing at the center. So
nucleus is them trying to detach you from God and creator and source. That's my opinion. And
Facts.
and that's where I am. So I'm resonating with what you're saying right now.
We are aligned, my friend. I grew up worshiping the samurai.
Oh, it's crazy.
Oh, I love that,
Hagakure.
dude. I love that.
The Hagakure was my favorite book. I saw Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai with Forrest Whitaker, and it changed my life. I think I was in the fourth grade, maybe, went out, bought the DVD, and I asked my dad if the next time we went up to St. Cloud, which was the closest kind of big city towards us that had a Barnes & Noble, if he could take me there. And I think we went that weekend, and I got Hagakure, and I told myself that I wanted to be a living samurai. And so that is literally how I live my life. My favorite quote from Hagakure is that if a samurai's head were to be suddenly cut off, he should be able to perform one more action with certainty. If one becomes like a revengeful ghost and shows great determination, though his head is cut off, he should not die. That encompasses everything. So first off, I just want to say thank you for, bringing up samurais, because that is the issue that people don't have. They don't have pride anymore.
No,
Pride
there's none.
isn't a bad thing. Pride is not a bad thing. And pride helps us solidify our 3D reality. Your ego is what essentially gives you personality. And personality is ultimately like God's stamp on you of authenticity and approval. And this is why AI has to learn from us, because it's just one big program thing. However, your imprint and what you are can impact everything. The samurai understood that. And they understood that if you got focused, because attention is energy and focus is energy. If you focus on something, it has to happen. And over the course of my life, I've had questions that I had to ask myself. I was the only African American in a small community of Norwegians. I actually just got this picture from one of my old wrestling coaches that kind of hits this home. But if you can see here, I was the only. That was 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
And I became a state champion at Kirk Coven Murdoch Sunberg after my mother gave me life and chose the parents that I have now to raise me. I was adopted, and I always wondered why. Why was that the case? Why was I given life, and why did I move out to the middle of bumfuck nowhere to ultimately change the history and the course of the history of that town? We were state champions in football for the first time ever. We were state champions in wrestling, and my life was kind of directed and touched by God. I, just like you, Jesus was a big part of my life. My goal was to lead all my friends to Jesus, so much to the fact that I was called Bible Boy. That was my nickname. I used to give sermons in the 3rd and 4th grade. in class because Miss Fernholes was, a Christian and allowed me to do that because she loved me and thought I was going to be a pastor. But the whole point was I never wanted to see my friends suffer. I never wanted to see anybody suffer, and I think that's innately in us. I think we're all children of God. If you put two children who don't know each other together, a lot of the times they try to make nice. They try to find a way to play or get together, and that is innately in all of us. So I found a mission for my life when I was in my darkest time. I suffered a head injury, was told I'd never compete again when I was wrestling in college at the University of Minnesota, thinking that was going to be my way to get my story out to the world, be a national champion at one of the number one Division I colleges. That didn't end up happening. Was off for 3.5 months, couldn't read, wasn't going to class because I couldn't read. If it was the sun was out, and it hit the snow, it would be terrible. It would give me a headache. I'd have to go lay down. This went on for 3.5 months until one day I was going to end myself. And because seppuku, right? If I'm going to go out, then one of the best ways to do it is do it yourself. That's what the samurai said. So I ended up taking a walk out on a bridge. And I lived right on the Mississippi River on the University of Minnesota, if you guys are familiar with Minneapolis. And I ran back to my apartment because I felt like it wasn't me. My pride kicked in. My honor kicked in. And it said, I'm not done here. What the talking about? And I had a conversation with God. And I looked up at God and I said, God, if this is it, take me now. If it's not, give me a sign. And the next day, somebody called me and said, hey, I heard that you have a head injury. I need to show you something that helped me, who had also suffered from a head injury, feel better. Within 2.5 weeks, I was medically cleared to wrestle. At that point in time, I was broke. I was able to start making a full-time income from the convenience of my dorm room, helping other people feel better by helping them lower inflammation with an all-natural anti-inflammatory. This then led me to partner with a company that is the reason why I fight to save children. I moved away from everything that I love to put this mission on my back to save the world's children because I was a children who was given life and saved. That is my samurai creed. So the fact that you brought up samurai, that's why I wanted to tell all of that story and bring that painting down, because this is what's called divine alignment.
I'm loving it, dude. I love this. And I think this stuff's important because I have a lot of people in my life that I care very much about, and they're kind of going through it. And I just feel like they need to learn how to take care of themselves. Hey, guys, I want to tell you about our good friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. Listen, the economy's crazy. Everything is up and down, but guess what's not? Gold, silver. Precious metals is where you got to go. It's the best investment you'll ever make. Let me tell you about Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. If you're paying attention, you know the de-dollarization is real. Fiat is fake, and you don't want to be left holding the bag when the dollar collapses. Gold and silver have been money through all of recorded history and are an excellent way to protect yourself from inflation and geopolitical turmoil. That's why I trust my friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver for all precious metals, all things precious metals. I love it. I am part of the Wolf Pack. Every month I have precious metals sent right to my house, and I love it. See, Wise Wolf Gold and Silver is veteran-owned and A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. No transaction is too big or too small. You can even roll over your 401k or IRA into physical gold and silver. And if you think you can't afford precious metals, think again. With the Wolfpack monthly membership program, you can get gold and silver delivered directly to your door for as little as $50 a month. As little as $50 a month, you can have precious metals. You start loading it up, man. By the end of the year, you'll have a good chunk of precious metals. Dude, it's crazy. You just go to samtripoli.gold. You can see all the different plans they have. Man, it's like $50. Lone Wolf, Warrior Wolf, $125. Alpha Wolf is $250. And it just keeps going up. Sent to your house. Right there. It's that simple. It's that simple. Easy peasy. Get in, get out, get your gold, get your silver. I love it. I'm doing it. Dude, I'm telling you, all of these affiliates I use, and I use Wise Wolf gold and silver. I use it all the time. It's real simple. So if you want to get in, this is how you do it. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver also deals in and accepts Bitcoin. So here's what I need you to do. Okay, go to samtripoli.gold, promo code tinfoil at checkout to receive free constitutional silver. That's right. And remember, in a world of bulls and bears, be the wolf. Real quick, if you go to samtripoli.com, check out got a lot this weekend. I am going to be in Portland at the Third Eye Carnival. Very excited to see the squad out there and all the great people that are there. The Comedy Chaos. Go see it while you can.
Jeez, that lineup.
Go. That lineup is fire. Comedy's weird in LA. So
Who is it? Who you got?
We got Whitney. We got Fortune. We got Bobby
Adam
Lee.
Ray.
We got Adam Ray, who's on a nice run right now. We got Pete Lee. I mean, Whitney Cummings. I mean, we got everybody. It's my good friend Brent Bilcombe. It's a good lineup. And then the weekend, I'm with Eddie Bravo. Unfortunately, our friend can't make it to there. So we have a really great comic filling in for Xavier. Burbank is coming up. And then, go up to Burbank. The Revival is back, everybody. The Revival is back. We are going to be back to doing an hour set on spitting fire and telling the truth and answering questions. The Revival is back. So go check it out. I can't wait to get that. Then Bellflower. Then we got more dates coming up. So just go samtripoli.com, see if I'm in your area. That's an important thing. So you go through college, you do wrestling. How do you get into MMA? Is that just a natural occurrence to go into after that?
It was my dream. It's so manifestation. I believe everything is manifested. My entire life has been a manifestation.
I love you, buddy.
Of my childhood dreams. So I had a chicken business. And I had a chicken business where we would sell broiler chickens. I would raise them. They would get butchered, and then I would sell them so I could buy like a PlayStation or an N64. So every summer however many summers, I would get the next system with my chicken money. And I got a Sega Dreamcast. And every time I had a lot of energy when I was a kid, and I had an anger issue, and I would, go crazy. And my parents said that when I had a good week, after church on Sunday, we could go to Cashwise Liquor, the fucking store, and then I could go rent a video game because they had, video games that you could rent. So I went in and I saw a UFC game on Sega Dreamcast and it had Tito Ortiz on the front, and I was like, "What is this?" And
the golden years.
Bingo! I was obsessed with Bruce Lee. I actually, Bruce Lee, to talk about the going back to the samurai, I wrote a paper on Bruce Lee, I think in the 4th grade, and I talked about how I would love to have, because I saw Enter the Dragon after WWE or WWF back in the day, Monday Night Raw. I saw Enter the Dragon, and it changed my life. I said, I don't know who this is, because I was a big fan. I wanted to be a WWE. I wanted to be fucking the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was like the black one. I was gonna walk out like this.
If you're listening at home,
music,
he's flailing his arms, walking forward.
Yeah, no, that's an original. Just so you know, that's King Bao.
King Bao.
Yeah, so I wanted to be a WWE. I saw Enter the Dragon. It changed my life. I said, "Fuck the WWE. I want to be that, whatever that is." I bought the Tao of Jeet Kune Do.
Oh, I love it.
When I was really young, and that was the other book that I studied outside of Hagakure, and Bruce Lee just shaped my life. He became my idol, and I wrote a paper in the 4th grade pretty much saying that I wanted to, blend all styles together and maybe create like a Kumite, because I also saw Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I was like, oh, that was an awesome movie, because I was like, man, if that was real, that'd be so cool. And saw the UFC fucking video game in Cashwise fucking Liquor. And I was just like, man, if this is real, I'm going to do that. If this is real, I'm going to do that. And fuck, it was real. Started watching it with my dad and my friends, buying the pay-per-views. And just became a fan of the sport. And I told myself, I always walked away from every fight outside of the cage. I've been spit in the face. I've been pushed. I've been slapped. When I was young, I was real timid. I didn't necessarily believe in myself, and I never really, but I knew my potential, and I didn't want to hurt people. Like I was like I'm nasty now. Like I'm a great fighter, but like back then, I mean, I was just so fast, and like I could whip kicks like crazy, and I didn't want to like kick somebody in the face and have them hit their head and then go to jail the rest of my life, because I figured that my life actually meant something, and why would I be given life to just serve life in prison? That would be fucking stupid. That doesn't make any sense. Why would God do that? So I walked away from every fight outside the cage, and I said, someday I'm going to fight the best in the world, and I'm going to do it for a cause. And after I had a head injury and thought I would never compete again, I wrestled for a little bit, but there's no money in wrestling, like actually like Greco-Roman wrestling. And I said, man, I just have to do it. I was always scared to fight people because I also didn't want to hurt people, because a samurai does not draw its sword unless it's for blood. And I always understood the power of life or death. Bruce Lee looked at martial arts in a way to honor life and death. Everything was for excessive force. You don't play fighting. Martial arts is the ultimate simulation of life and death, and you have to honor that simulation because it's a metaphor for life. So I just never wanted to get in, I never wanted to fight. And the hardest thing in fighting, and this is how I got into fighting. I was sitting in the crowd at one of our events for my company, Aliveo. When you take our products, you nourish children with this incredible Ace Mannin technology. Ace Mannin is the world's most researched natural molecule on the planet that you've never heard of. And the reason for that is because over $200 million of research shows that it impacts the immune system pretty much better than anything else, and anything that has to do with your immune system can see benefit. Use your imagination is all I'm going to say. 25 years of research, $200 million, the most researched natural molecule on the planet. Our CEO ended up building a company that went all over the world 20 years ago, bringing this to market because they wouldn't approve it for a drug because it wasn't toxic to the human body, and he wanted to use it to save children because he donated it to an orphanage in Romania, losing up to 40 kids a year. And he, after 1 year of donating, no child died. So he said, how can I bring this to the world? He started a company called Manatech and a foundation called Mana Relief that donates this technology. And now we are the company that has the most powerful Ace Mannin technology on the planet, and we put it in lifestyle enhancing food technologies and products that every time you take, you get healthy. Why? Because Ace Mannin increases stem cell production by up to 400%. So he laid out this plan for us to save the world's children through a social business model. We're social business. That means buy one, give one. Every time you take a product like Focus instead of the store that's literally just poisoning you, you nourish a child with this same Ace Mannin technology that's found in all of our products, and you de-age, you get healthier. And when 3 million people decide that they want to participate and take 2 servings or more of our products, which just makes sense, because why wouldn't you want to take something that continues to get you healthier? We will effectively eradicate childhood malnutrition from the planet, because 7 million children die every year, and the moment you all participate, we win.
I'm in.
So when I heard Sam Castor say that story, I was sitting in the crowd. I wasn't fighting, but I was like, you know what? I've been looking for a mission to dedicate my life to. I've been trying to find a reason why I was a child given an opportunity and given life to live literally all of my dreams and manifest every reality that I've ever wanted to participate in. So if all these children are suffering, then why don't I use my God-given capabilities to fight for them and get this mission out to the world so that we can save 7 million children and change the fuck?
I love you, buddy.
And that's the point.
I love it. Yes, dude. That was fire, dude. That was pure fire. I'm with you. I've been saying this a lot on this show, is that, there are certain pillars every society has to have. We have to agree that to not lie. We have to agree that hurting, violence is bad. We have to agree that stealing is bad, and the biggest one is we must protect children at all cost. And we've had a bunch of Marxists pushing against that completely, and to the point that their desired goals are more important than the truth. You have a lot of detransitioners right now who are coming out saying that they were lied to about what would happen if they transitioned. It's not true. And instead of people hearing the people that were bought the lie hook, line, and sinker, they are now being shunned. I think it was in Indiana or somewhere like that. I forget what or Idaho or something like that, super white state. They had a public hearing from detransitioners, and a bunch of Marxists showed up and protested it. And it's so crazy to me that is the way to go. That people are okay with hurting children. Again, live your life. I don't care. That is one thing that is the hill I will die on. That, I don't want to regulate you and what you do. If you're not hurting people, and particularly children, you'll never hear from me. I will let you live your life. But it just seems like we're in this kind of place where they understand that the Communist Manifesto is corrupt the children and you'll destroy the humanity. And that is where we're at right now. They are doing this hook, line, and sinker. They're pushing this depopulation agenda through these celebrities who are all talking about how they don't want to have kids, and I don't need kids, and kids make you miserable. And if you have kids, there's moments where you're like, oh, these kids are driving me nuts. But those aren't even close to the amount of times where you just feel pure joy watching someone you brought into the world grow into a loving human being and surrounding them with love. And kids are on their track. You listen to King Bao and everything that happened to him and where he is right now. You're on your track. You are on your track, and trauma can knock you off that track. That's what I've learned about life. If you even get into what we've talked about in the past with ghosts, I think that spirits, when they try to get reabsorbed into the source, great trauma knocks them off that track. And I think that's a lot of times where we find the paranormal from, the supernatural.
Would you say a little trauma is like not good, but like they need a little struggle?
Well, I do think, a big part of communism is this cell that they're going to take away poverty. We're going to get rid of all poverty. Now, I am not sitting here telling you that people being poor is good. But what I will tell you is that so many people have come from really hard backgrounds, have said, not today, not again. I'm not going to live that life. My kids aren't going to live that life, because so much of being a parent is not allowing generational trauma to be passed on to the next level. And it's really hard not to do that. It's really hard. I catch myself, I come from very paranoid stock. My family is very paranoid. They're all loving. I wouldn't change my family for anybody in the world. But once you see it, you can identify it, and kind of like what King Bao was saying about taking the trauma and looking at it and dealing with it instead of trying to numb it off, and taking that trauma, going, this is my trauma. It's not going to be put on my children. And so many people don't do that. Mm-hmm. And that is the biggest thing we have to do, is we have to stop the childhood trauma. We have to do our best. But when you say a little trauma, or the notion of getting rid of poverty, I think that's a bad idea, because when you start enacting things like universal basic income, what you're doing to people is incentivizing not creating.
Well, the goal is noble, right? I mean, but the methods,
the means
to
do it is where like
communism. We know we have a little track record on this planet with communism. And
well, the saying is like the highway to hell is paved with good intentions.
No, yeah, of course,
right. Which is
I believe that's why the social business model is the only way forward. I believe that the value that you provide to the world should innately reflect your value or your worth. And so the more people that you help, the more money that you should make.
I agree.
That is what I thought sales and business was for. And so most people have been stuck in a system where all they do is essentially consume poison, whether that is the media that they consume or the entertainment, whether that's the food, it's literally all poison. How did we decide that we were going to participate in a system or society like that? We are making a conscious effort to participate in enslavement. So the only way out of that is to create new ways to allow people to participate in creating more value. That is what social media essentially, in my opinion, was supposed to be used for. And if you look at the biggest channels on the planet, you would argue that most of them are providing some form of value. Sam Tripoli, you are a legend because you have learned how to not only communicate effectively, but also you have learned how you add value to the world. And so, again, why am I a proponent for what I am doing? Everybody wants to talk about solutions. I just provided the world one. In social business, everybody on TikTok right now is wanting to be a TikTok affiliate. Everybody is making money and everything is all about money. And oh, I'm making 30 grand a month. How many people are you impacting? Or better yet, my new question for everyone is how many children are you saving? If you're not saving children doing what you do, I don't really give a about whatever it is that you're selling, because the future of business is only what is going to impact the body and help you de-age. Tony Robbins, Life Force, his new book talks about the next $1 trillion industry will be that of de-aging. And think about this. The way you de-age is you naturally lower inflammation and you learn a way to pump your body full of stem cells naturally. Well, what if a company had products that just allowed you to do that, that came from food and had no chemicals in them and had nothing but good, so that you could feel better every time you decided to take something?
Put it near your shirt. Put it near your shirt so I can see what it says on it.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic. It's focus. And
turn it around.
Not,
turn it
it's
upside. You're upside
focus.
down with it. It's upside down.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
There it
Focus.
is.
There we go.
No, it's in,
focus.
Focus is in focus.
What I'd like to do with you is I'll put a link on my website. I like to help anybody trying to help people, so we'd love to put a link and do affiliate with you on that if that is all possible.
Yes, I mean that this is how it works, and the reason I'm so big on this is because if we eradicate childhood malnutrition and all these people on TikTok want to make money, why wouldn't you want to make money helping children, selling products that you can't get anywhere else? That just makes the most sense. Everybody wants to sell the same thing, but it's not even a top of the line thing. Why wouldn't you do something that has $200 million of research that literally saves children and lives and impacts every situation and thing that we're going through in our country? Make America healthy again. Hey, here's an option. Okay, it's time to do it then, because the moment that happens, we create a whole new wealth. Do you guys realize that inflammation is a $500 billion? Pain alone in America is a $500 billion a year industry. That ain't including a coffee. Oh, guess what? Does your coffee create stem cells and save children? No. Then shut up. I don't want to hear about it.
Yes.
I don't want to hear about Starbucks and all the Frappuccino and the cups causing poison and all this shit, and other people complain about it when I just told you our coffee is going to get you younger because it helps you lower inflammation. It helps you create more stem cells. That just makes so much more sense. Sorry, I'm getting pissed off.
You're allowed, dude. I don't think it's anger. I think it's passion.
I moved. You talked about children, bro. I moved away from my children to pursue this mission because, like a samurai, I have to do the things that I say I'm going to do. If I don't do the things that I say I'm going to do, I rather die. Kill me now, take me now. Everybody says and has been saying for the last 5 years, man, you should probably not be talking about that type of stuff. Hey, you shouldn't go on the internet and say that. Hey, you should probably just watch things that you say. I can't live like a coward when I know something can help somebody else. That is why I make videos to teach people how to heal their trauma instantaneously. That is why I decide to put everything on the line and fight mixed martial arts to either become the best in the world and save children or die trying, going broke, living a fucking life of misery and pain. I'll take that if I don't live my dreams, because it's all or nothing. And if I can save 7 million children and I can save the world essentially by teaching them and educating them on things that they don't understand, that we're not even thinking about. You said it best. You don't want to pass on the childhood trauma to your children. Neither do I. Which is why I can't feel comfortable sitting here next to my children, knowing others are being trafficked and horrendous things are happening to them. If the world isn't safe for those children, then it ain't safe for mine. So I'm going to do everything that I can to fight to make sure that their life is what I know that it can be, and they can reach their highest potential and give the most value back to the world, because that is what we're here for. We are here to use our imaginations and be children of God and find ways to add value back to the world and find solutions. That is why we always create new. A child pushes the potential of the human race forward each time a new child is born, because it's another example of possibility. That shows us our limitless potential. That's the reflectory part of it all. We're all just light reflecting back to one another. And I want my light to impact and touch as many people as it can. And that is why we worship the sun. So if I need to illuminate from the depths of my soul and show the world my shadows, hopefully engulf the world with my light, I will do that. I will do it with my head down, and we are going to save these children. So if you'd like to participate, go to savekids.life. Savekids.life. When 3 million of you decide that you want to participate, we will effectively eradicate childhood malnutrition from the planet.
Well, we're going to put all the links below so that you can check it out, and hopefully we can help some kids here. I see you got a kill a pedo on the back of your on your wall there. I find it very interesting right now that we have a time. You know, did you guys hear they locked up Alex Rosen? You know, he's the guy that shows up and you know they pray for kids. Yeah, they locked him up
For what?
I don't know what the exact felony they're trying to charge him with, but he's meeting with these guys. I'm not showing them any sympathy. They all look like they're on the spectrum. They look like zero ability to interact with people, and they are talking to these kids online. I think
You're talking about the bearded white guy?
Yeah, that he's locked up. I don't know if he's out yet, but you know, he's meeting with these people, and it's sad to me that he's the one who goes to jail. But I'm saying this, and I mean this not against anything Alex is doing, because I do believe Alex is doing great stuff. What I'm saying is that there seems to be a lot of low-level pedos getting arrested. You know, we got all this stuff with these hot teachers hooking up with these students. And, you know, it's on, you know, everybody's social media is talking, oh, they're so hot, and they're, it's, you know, and I go, okay, but where is the Epstein list? Where is the Epstein list? Why are we focusing on these low-level pedos, which are still bad people and should be arrested, but why aren't we going after these high-level people? And it's because pedophilia is the initiation into the highest levels of power. That's what it is. And they don't want to ruin their game. This is how they control everybody. I mean, how many stories have we seen right now that involves sex blackmail? You know, I'm going to tell you that what's his name that runs Tesla? What's his name? Elon Musk. Elon Musk. And, you know, that new chick he's got, you know, who is Jewish. Let's just be honest here. She's locked him down, and, you know, and that whole story going on. And now we have the RFK Jr. stuff going on. That does involve children at this moment. And, you know, and
is there something implied in what you saying at this moment? Like, is there something?
Well, he was on the Epstein flights. You can't go. It's impossible, right? It's impossible. I will say this about RFK Jr. I have friends of mine on a very personal level that I talk to all the time on like a weekly basis, not about this stuff, but about life, that I consider very good friends of mine that all know this guy on a personal level. and they all say he's a really nice guy. I have yet to meet someone that knows RFK Jr. on a personal level that doesn't say he's the nicest guy. You can do with that as you please. I'm just giving you the data. But here we got blackmail going on here. It is the currency of power is sexual blackmail, and in particular children. Why are we only seeing low-level people being arrested? Because what they're doing to you is they're throwing you chum. They want you to go, oh, they're doing something about this. Well, getting a teacher out of school is important, and it has to happen. But we're also not they're not making policies. They're not deciding what is our government spends money on. It's the people being blackmailed at the highest level doing awful, horrendous stuff to children that are making the policies, and they're the ones being protected. Why is Anthony Weiner thinking about running for governor? Why are you allowed in any kind of forum publicly ever again when we find out all the things that were on his laptop, how all those NYPD cops died, and how that story has been basically vanished? It is gone from the internet. You cannot find that story and those articles written about how 11 cops on that case all magically suicided themselves. And we were talking about that a long time ago. You can't see any of that because they are protecting their power. And someone brought this up out. Why would the government, why would the FBI, why would the CIA, let's just throw the CIA out. If you still think the CIA is law enforcement, you either just started listening or you're willfully ignorant. They are security for the highest levels of power. But let's just say the FBI is different. And I'm not saying it is. I don't think it is based on the history we know about them. But why would they give up the blackmail? They now can control people through all the Epstein tapes and the P. Diddy tapes and all that stuff. Why? What's your thoughts on that?
I think that's the lowest level. They're throwing us the lowest level of understanding. I have a half serious bit that I do. Are essentially controlling everything. Like, I think everything in Hollywood is a documentary in one way, shape, or form. I think all sci-fi is an alternate reality that essentially they're just showing you to think is fake so that you'll never believe that it can be real, so you don't unlock the 144,000 crystalline DNA structures in your body and then shift your DNA into the 5D so you can have superpowers like Superman and all that shit in X-Men. And, if Blade is a documentary, then that means that there's an underworld, and that means that all those baby parts that are getting shipped from like Planned Parenthood to like somewhere is probably going to reptilian shapeshifters eating babies who are telling people and getting us to fight over Jews and Muslims and whoever the fuck, and then they're just harvesting our energy because they're fifth dimensional like beings. So they actually just like suck our energy like as we're feeling like stressed and worried and trying to figure out how we're going to make the next dollar when the economy's shit, and how to take care of our family and feed them, because all that matters to humans, one of the first things that we need is the ability to feel like we're safe and survival. That's your root chakra. Like, that's what that all is about. If you don't know, I wear a copper crown, so if you don't know what chakras are, we're already off on the wrong foot. So, but anyways, chakras, survival, that's what we do. That's what we look for. And so, and then here's the real shit. Now that they're dripping all of this out on us, like they're saying, hey, Epstein, they murk him, can't touch us, right? It makes you feel hopeless. Like, that's why you said a lot of your friends are feeling something. I just had a friend call me the other day, say he was going through it, felt like he wanted to, because one of his friends and like, we're talking to him, and that's what you have to give love now, because love is the highest frequency, and that's what's going to pull us out of all this shit. And that's what all of these beings are afraid of. That's why the Schumann resonance keeps spiking, because ultimately, like, it's a war, and we have to decide what the fuck we want to feel. And instead of hopelessness, I rather feel love. I rather feel gratitude. I rather find a reason to get grateful. And what I'm grateful for is I know I'm going to be the reason why 7 million children don't die, and I'm going to be a billionaire. billionaire, live off of 1% of my income as I make other millionaires, as I make other multiple millionaires and billionaires in this trillion-dollar industry. And we created a utopia based off of love, light, healthiness, and the principles that further the mind and consciousness and the body and the spirit and the will and desire forward to forever grow, because growth is the infinite principle of the universe.
I'm down. I'm in. Hey guys, as you know, we got a real population problem going on here. Nobody's having kids. Nobody can get boners, and that's why one company is doing everything they can to save humanity, and that's our good friends at Blue Chew. Guys, be ready when he needs it, and get your first month of Blue Chew free. Great sex is a few clicks away. Sign up at bluechew.com. Consult with your one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA, and prepared and shipped directly to your door. The best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office or awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, okay? I love Blue Chew. I love rock hard boners, okay? I love getting rock hard. And let me tell you something. This is my own personal experience, okay? When I'm on Blue Chew, I'm at 6 inches, not near 6 inches. It is 6 inches, okay? Without a doubt. 6 inches that feels like a fucking Hennessy can. That's what it feels like. A big black Hennessy can. Thank you, Blue Chew, for all that. Blue Chew gives you more horsepower. Enough said. All right. It's the real deal. I love it. Xavier loves it.
Yep.
Johnny needs it. Okay. We all just love it. It's the best of the best. Okay. Listen, some of us need a little confidence boost. Others have the confidence. Why not get some more confidence? And there's no better place to do that than Blue Chew. So listen, here's what we need to do. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at bluechew.com. And we got a special deal for all of our listeners, okay? Ladies, you can get this too. Try your first month of Blue Chew free when you use the code TINFOIL. And just pay $5. That's promo code TINFOIL. Visit bluechew.com and for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. Thank you, Blue Chew, for saving humanity.
So, does that answer your question? Like, I think that, I don't know. They're showing us Epstein. They're showing us Israel. They're showing us all that. But this is what's crazy. We live in a world and a time where there's still people who will argue for the credibility and the viability of the safe and effectives. They'll say that it's safe and effective, and there's people who believe that. And then in the same reality, we have, David Icke and Alex Jones, David Icke and Joe Rogan, who haven't had a conversation yet. There's just so many levels and layers of consciousness. Then you got big fat retards like me that believe that Earth is like a prison planet, and they're sucking our loose
right now.
And emotions, they feed off our emotions because that's like 5D energy, and so they just get us feeling a certain type of way, and then they can suck us like vampires, and that's the real shit. We can't see them because they're on a whole different dimension. But when you start to become aware and you start to unlock your pineal gland and the pine cone in your forehead, you can start to feel outside of you, and that's why they're slowly telling us about the telepathy tapes, and that's why they're slowly telling us about all the fucking pyramid stuff that rewrites history so that you can't have faith in your faith anymore because your fucking history has completely been rewritten. So if you know anything about also neurolinguistic programming, if you know anything else about hypnotism and how programming works, I have to break your beliefs to then be able to insert a new one. So ultimately, if let's say religion was all just a big scapegoat for them to get to this point in time and then tell us pyramids are real so that they fucking fuck up everybody's idea of what reality is, then whatever reality is will be what they tell you it is. And that's kind of what they've been pre-programming you for, and destroying your hope and destroying your belief and everything that you thought you knew. And now everything is about to be things that you thought was fake. So that's why AI, that's why Neuralink, that's why, because it's the ultimate soul trap, because you're just going to fucking give up because reality hasn't been what you thought.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And, it's like, prison planet is a big thing right now. Everyone's talking about, do we live in a prison planet? What is the purpose of this thing, And it goes back to some Gnostic stuff. And I know people that are of a certain belief may not like Gnosticism, but there's just, talk about the demiurge and what the demiurge created and how it needs batteries, which were batteries and would trap us in this like soul cycle of coming back here all the time and feeding this whole like kind of elaborate false reality. And which is definitely possible without a doubt. And there's some people that can't even begin to have this conversation. I really do believe more than anything that this is a haunted house. And some places are way more haunted than ever. If you study Iraq, every like 100 years, every couple 100 years, it gets murked like you've never seen before because something about that area is condemned. And I'm not saying what we did was right because I'm very much on the record about how disgusting 9/11 was and what it was used to do and how people can't even come to grips with it, and, I've had conversations with people when I start getting into like who Hitler was and what Hitler really was about, which was destroying Germany from within. And how that Xavier, whatever,
Javier Milei
is gonna. So from what they're saying, he's gonna release documents that basically says that Hitler died peacefully in Argentina.
I will say I read that, and the actual reporting doesn't mention Hitler anywhere. But it got reported as that on Twitter. So
I've seen a lot of credible people running with it. But
what did it say, Johnny? What did it say?
Well, it just said that they were going to release all the documents related to Argentina importing Nazis, basically.
Yeah,
that was it.
I 100% believe it.
Hey, you want to know? Hey, you want to go down a fun tinfoil hat rabbit hole? You ready?
Yeah.
Hold up. This is going to be so good. I got to do this on tinfoil hat. What? Thinking, are you kidding me, King? This is going to be so good. Just intermission right there for like 15 seconds.
For the first time ever, we're having an intermission.
I found that Hillary Clinton article, by the way, the 9 out of 12 suicide thing.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's at what is it? The Pundit, the Perimeter. There it is, right there.
Oh, Johnny, that's not CBS or NBC or ABC. I can't believe that. Well, what kind of websites are you looking at, Johnny? Oh,
9 out of 12 people who saw Anthony Weiner's laptop are dead. This is
that's a lot.
Someone called Chaz Anon.
Did you guys hear that story about how like in one police department, I forgot what state it was, four sheriffs committed suicide?
Texas. It was Texas.
And they're like, how is that?
The sheriffs, like one after the other?
Yeah, in a short amount of time, they all off themselves. They're like, what did they discover?
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we're back, and we're talking about Hitler. We're talking about Nazis. We're talking about Zionism. And I have a series on YouTube Rumble, called The Illuminati Card Game in Our World Today, where basically I'm going through all of the Illuminati card game and mapping out how it is essentially currently affecting our reality and using it to essentially predict, maybe, if at all is predictive programming, what's going to happen next. This is the Illuminatus trilogy. 3 books in one. That is the reason that this game came out. It is the inspiration behind the game. It's written by Robert Shea. There you guys go. Can you see
Do you know
that?
the history of that book? Why that book was written?
Tell me about it.
Well, basically what happened was, I believe it was Penthouse or Playboy. He would have, they would have somewhere, ask the editor or whatever, and people would send in stuff. Well, people started sending in a couple conspiracy stuff. He found it interesting. So he asked people, send in your biggest conspiracy. He got so many of them. He goes, this is really interesting. He decided to take he did research on the stories that people were sending in, and that's where the book comes from. All these letters being sent to the editor for like Penthouse letters or Playboy letters,
It
whatever.
kind of lends some credence to this idea of like the wisdom of the masses, you know?
Yeah.
That's
where it all
fascinating.
came from. And it's so crazy how accurate it is.
Yeah.
Like pictures, faces.
Like together we all know. you know?
Like the Vegas shooting, that card game nailed it down to the tattoo. Down to the tattoo that the singer on the stage had.
What are you holding?
So these are all of my notes. I go through the book, I read it for people, and we've been doing a reading. We went through all the cards, and we've been going through a reading. But this is the Illuminatus part 3. And I just want, we were talking about Hitler. Hitler's brain, I believe, is a card in the Illuminati card game. Essentially, his brain was preserved, and we go over that. But there is, this is some of the notes that I took for chapter 3. So one of them says Golden Apple and Jewish conspiracy to rule the world. Elders of Zion, Zionists, Nazi propaganda, Jesuits, Islam, German Jews. It talks about Babylon and Ishtar. It talks about the pyramids and the American Medical Association. This is chapter 3. And so what I do is I try to draw similarities between the book, the card game, and our world today. And I found it very interesting that, I did a show with, someone who.
Are we not allowed to talk about him?
Oh, well, we could talk about him.
No, I mean,
Absolutely.
I enjoy that.
I'm open book. I'm an open book.
No, I just wasn't sure what where you guys are
I had
standing.
a show with, I have a show with Stu Peters, and Stu is always Jew. And it shows the resurgence of what? Hitler's brain, which is another idea in the book that came out 50 years ago. This was published in 1975. This is the 50-year anniversary. And in the book, there's this thing called the Law of Fives. The Law of 369, it's just paying homage to, 369, Nikola Tesla shit. And it's mocking us because that's what the book does, because comedy is the highest form of enlightenment. It's one of the ways to solidify reality. So yeah, you capture laughter in a moment as you're trying to make a valid point, and that's wisdom literally being dropped in the, but that's like
spoonful of sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus' example, always dropping wisdom and knowledge and teaching people things. Yeah, so that's the book. I don't know why I brought that. Hitler's brain. That's why I brought that up. I got excited.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, it is a reality being brought on today that they don't want you. I mean, if you even take a look at like what's going on in Germany right now, which fits into prophecy, they're destroying it from the inside. Just a simple discussion of it can throw you in jail for years. Think about that. For years. They're still playing, Germany's still paying Israel reparations. Think about that.
Yeah, well, and that country's so weird because, I mean, you got to remember, half of it sat behind the Iron Curtain, so it was just stunted. It's like a stunted limb or something. You know what I mean? It's just this, not developed culturally and socially, that part, that was.
But look how crazy it is now. Like, it's out of control. And all Europe is like that. All of Europe is out of control right now.
You think it'll swing, though?
Yeah.
How everything swings
it already is. I mean,
Yeah.
look at France. I mean, France just locked up the opposition in jail.
It's crazy.
That's another thing in the book. The book talked about destroying countries from the inside by intermingling race, and like it was a theme in the book that they made fun of us 50 years ago. And that's
are there some drops?
What
We
if?
can't hear them.
Yeah,
What if?
Zoom
what
is
if we're all just like
When you do a
co-creating?
drop, put the microphone near it.
Yeah, because Zoom is kind of.
So do a
treating
drop
those-
and then put your microphone near it, so we
it
can hear
treats
it.
them like background noise. I
Yeah,
think,
when you
and
keep hitting sound, put the microphone near it.
Oh, okay, got you. Sounds good. But yeah, it. What if we were all collectively creating a reality that we didn't want to or necessarily have to participate in? We just thought it was the only way that we could live our fucking lives of quiet desperation. Well, I think that the whole point of not living that reality is trying to find new ways to live in a better reality. And if we all don't decide that we are going to come together collectively before they pull the switch for World War III, we are fucked. And we should definitely just decide right now, maybe it's probably a good idea to not participate in this reality anymore and realize that all of the power is within us, because it ain't looking too hot.
It's very interesting to me what is going on right now. Again, going back to the demoralization and what Trump represents. And
what does he represent? What do you mean by that? I want to know.
What he represents to me is this kind of, in a weird way, I don't know if the phrase I want to use is false flag, but it's the old Albert Pike thing. When they need a hero or leader, we'll supply it. And it seems to be, Trump represents, this kind of populist movement. And then the minute he gets in, even though there's things about, like, it's a very bipolar, it's weird because it's bipolar, his administration, but it's also completely expected. If you were to say to me a day before the election, what Trump's second administration looks like, it's everything he's doing right now. Everything. Like, he wanted war with Iran. You remember when we were all worried about the drone, the poor drone, He was doing everything he can to get us in the war with Iran. And now it looks like we're on the precipice of it. Maybe. I mean, people have been talking about this forever, but again, it gets into the hammer and nail, the 8 to 9 countries they wanted to overthrow. And the last one left is Iran for the Greater Israel Project. And I talked about this with Tino Sanchez and Trey Mala last night on the Only Conspiracies premium content I did last night. But like, this is about controlling trade routes and prophecy. That's what this is all about. And they're trying to go into it, but Trump sold us on anti-war. Trump sold us on. I would have the Ukraine solved day one. Didn't happen, and I know that might be out of his hands. He's dealing with other people with other desires, but
he's pissed at Putin now. He said, pissed.
Yeah, I love that Putin's car gets blown up and he's mad at him. Yeah.
And he was pissed because he was, just kind of throwing shade at Zelensky. Like, I mean, if that's enough to piss you off here.
Again, so you go into what does he represent? To me, he represents fucking false hope.
But you also have to think about it. You also have to think about it. When he was on his first term, he didn't go into war at all. So we kind of had some hope, as assuming that he was that type of president.
Right, and then the second one, now he wants a third term. It's like we're getting into dangerous.
To the brother that just said that, if it's all a show, brother, then wouldn't this have to be how it works? I mean, think about it. Donald Trump, in my comedy special, I talked about the WWE still being one of the biggest corporations in the world today. And how do they do it? It's a show, it's entertainment, and it's literally a soap opera that is grown people, young people, many people buying into characters or archetypes that they themselves feel that they connect to, and then they put all of their emotion, even if it's for 2 hours. They literally put they're invested. They're taking time out of their day, maybe every week, to participate in this ritual of archetypes. And so even I do agree with Sam of him being the ultimate like hope and archetype. But for me, it was like once they pulled the ear thing, like once you get shot in the ear, they got Stephen Greer is in this reality as well. I talked about certain timelines. Every reality is doing this right now. It's all kind of correlating, coming together. It's like, you see how I did that perfectly? It's like I'm in the Illuminati, but the real one, the one that doesn't fuck kids, the one that actually like is all about love and light and peace and harmony and fucking shifting consciousness into unconditional love, frequency, and gratitude. Anyways, so archetypes, he's hope, all of a sudden get shot in the ear. That's bullshit to me. That to me was like, okay, they are literally putting him in the position to be the biggest thing ever, and like it's kind of like a heel switch. It's kind of like a baby face switch. Like they're just building this guy up, even though he's already the baby face. You're waiting for him to get the WWE championship. He gets shot in the ear. Bingo! He's now the guy. Yeah. He's now everybody's white knight and savior. And like it just makes sense if the 2030 agenda is supposed to be what it is, which I believe that we're on a completely different timeline and they're trying to speed that up because now consciousness is shifting. Everybody's waking up. Everybody's talking about it. Those vaccines probably have to kick in sometime soon. That was dark. I got my crown off. I was dark. But you know, it's got to happen because then they get the reset that they want. Because the reset is actually the reset, like the Tartaria reset. You got to think about it. A bunch of people, you know, died, you know, and are still dying and dropping dead suddenly. And why is that happening? Well, remember the orphan trains? Did you guys know about that orphan train? What did they have to do to
think
get all
these
them
lost
orphans?
kids at the border too are the new orphan trains. Where are the kids?
Bingo.
It's horrible.
Bingo. And so again, like if this is just like another reset, it would make sense why they're calling it a reset, you know? And like the old world is, people are starting to discover the old world, right as we're starting to discover the old world. And hey, we might be be getting fucking dog walked into communist AI dick. They off everybody. They flip the 6G switch. Everybody starts. That graphene oxide just starts to, you know, turn everybody into like the thing on Stranger Things where they all morph into one and it's just one of these big fucking zombie things. And the beast is here. Antichrist is here. I'm a retard. Don't listen to anything that I say.
I love it, dude. I love it. I love your bondage look in your video on your special too. If I was built like that, if I was built like you, I'd wear the exact same outfit everywhere I went. PTA meetings, that's how I'd show up. Tight shorts and just a vest. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Nothing more, nothing less. Just
you're not doing the bow tie.
And well, no, that's 100. Oh yeah, I do have to do with the weird bondage leather under it.
No, the bow tie.
Yeah, I would do all that. I would. That'd be my look.
Okay.
You guys would be working with that guy every time.
Hey, WWE. I know I talk shit, but that is a character for sale, and I will go up against Logan Paul. I will pulverize Logan Paul.
I would love to see that.
So about the how do you think that worked out? You think Trump was in on it? You think he didn't know he got shot? How do you think that worked out? Because to me,
they're all in on it. I mean, his dad was a big supporter of our greatest ally, and now I mean, all of his billionaire friends. Why are we talking about cancer vaccines when the last ones weren't safe and effective? Like, are we just, is it the Q thing where we're all literally just waiting for Israel to be last? Or by that time, would World War III already happen and it would just prove that was supposed to happen because now we're all, you know, in the fucking Obama movie and we don't know who the enemy is and all the sleeper cells activate and then everybody's against everybody because they tribalized everybody. Now niggas are retarded and they still kill each other in 2025. More rappers are dying now than when Biggie and I thought we would have learned at Biggie and Tupac, but now rappers are still continuing to kill each other. More people are tribal than ever before. Racism is pretty much reborn in many parts of the world, and it's because people are retarded and they're stupid and they don't realize that is the lowest level of intellectualization, and it's all about natural selection, and you have to naturally select yourself, otherwise you're fucked. And part of that is the reason why it's a consciousness of the mind is because if you don't work to be better, then you're fucked. If you're eating artificial flavors, sweeteners, preservatives, and sugars and just being retarded and putting pour in your body, then you're never going to continue to do what you need to do to shift and raise your frequency out of that programming, because what you eat is what you feel, and what you feel manifests.
I'm with you, dude.
You see what I'm saying? And so, like, a lot of people eat fake influencers and fake artists.
Is my nicotine bad for me? I'm just
nicotine is the shit. I make my own oil.
Let me
say wait, so it's not one a day anymore?
Oh no, dude!
Wait. He makes his own oil. Let
me send you my oil. I'm gonna send you my oil, Sam.
I'm in. Send it to me. I'll bang that shit, dude. I am a nicotine fiend right now, dude. I'm loving it.
You use the zincs, right?
I love
it. For reminding me.
I've never had one.
Oh, you want? No, this one's too strong.
I hear that you
box of those things. I think it's the same shit.
But
here's what I believe.
I'm scared to like it, and then I have a pouch in my fucking mouth all day.
It's the best. You feel like a man. Just want to make love, fight crime.
Bro, wait, hey, this oil, Sam. This oil, it has multiple purposes.
Yeah,
and
can you give me a couple more inches,
bro?
Dude, you give me a bigger dick, I'll be like, oh, dude, I'm in.
I'm saying it's the best lube in the world. I will sell this, and it will go fucking crazy, and people will thank me later.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, man. I you know, that whole shooting makes me question the Reagan shooting too. I really do. Like they have no problems with killing off somebody or paralyzing a guy. And then the guy who shot Reagan is now, you know, put out an album and touring Coffee Beans. Like, does that any of that seem real? Like, like if you actually go, what is the consequences of their actions? You know, were there any, like, you know, on 9/11, like the way everybody's working with Saudi Arabia fits into my thing that Saudi Arabia had nothing to do with 9/11. Maybe they added money to it, but they really didn't do anything. And that's why everyone's fine with working with them.
Wouldn't matter if they did. Everybody would still.
I don't know, Johnny. I just feel like they would 100%.
Saudis, they got us. They got everybody.
Well, the Saudis, we hold on. It is of my belief, Johnny, that we have the Saudis.
Okay,
that's why we buy their oil.
I think
when we have enough oil to control them, and because we control the Saudis, we control Mecca, which is the Muslim, you know, headquarters, which is a giant black cube.
The effect is the same for us, the average person.
Well, I mean, if you're asking Sam Tripoli, what do you think? I think the reason they are allowed to work within our society is because at the deepest levels, most people know that they really didn't have anything to do with it, or not, or the power people know they didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, and I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong. Not that much, though. I mean,
I think it's impossible that they didn't have something to do with, like, Saudi money's not in there somewhere.
Somewhere, but everywhere. The notion of hijacking and all that stuff.
But I don't think it matters. I think that money was going to come from anywhere. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
So I want to get into some. That's fine. That's fine. We can agree to disagree.
You guys want to get into a real conversation about money? So we were talking about billionaires earlier, and the reason I brought up billionaires is because this is how I look at it. I look at it as secret societies are secret societies for a reason. They create qualifications for you to be in a secret society, correct?
Yep.
So if they create things to make you be a part of them, what if one secret society was like billionaires? What if the only way you could know some specific things was if you became a billionaire? Because it's my belief that the wealthiest people, and there's pretty much proof of this if you know the 13 families, aren't on the fucking Forbes list. And if they're not on the Forbes list and they're wealthy, well, then that means that other people are wealthy. Pablo Escobar was a real fucking person. It's a whole different world. There's literally the internet and the dark web. If you've been on the internet, you probably haven't seen any real shit or real videos, and you've only been consuming whatever it is that you're being fed. But if you go to the but if you go to the dark web, bro, there's a reason why hackers are blowing their brains off when they go. There's a reason why those cops got themselves the fuck out of here, because they couldn't believe what they were seeing, because their entire reality, their life was the world is safe, the world is beautiful, the world is all these things.
Yeah.
That's not the real world, maybe for the elite. If the elite really are Satanist pedophile fucks that eat or rape or do terrible things to children, then that is a whole different world. And think about the money. Think about the money and the access and the ability to. They said they had a submarine for Epstein Island. A submarine. You need
crazy.
to think about that. They said that Stephen Greer and certain UFOologists are arguing that some UAPs are man-made and that they're being used to traffic people. So, to me, whether it's the sheiks, Trump and the billionaires in America like Larry Fink or Elon who want to put shit in us that are fucking part of the AI, fucking nano supercomputer technology, whether it's there's people who hurt children all over the world. Sheiks, Catholics, Jews, Muslims, Americans.
Thank you.
All races, blacks,
Thank you.
whites, Indians. It's a big fucking club and we're not in it because we're righteous of heart. So we'll never understand that. And all of it is a smokescreen to me. That's why to me, it's useless to talk about Jews because then you can talk about Catholics. Then you can talk about the sheiks, and it's all a fucking smokescreen while they're literally taking people with technology that they've had for fucking years that could change the world overnight that they're not telling you about. And that's the fucking issue. We have to fight for that right now. No more bullshit. Why is there fluoride in water? What the fuck are we talking about? Why is blue dyes and blue and red fluoride? How is that even in our shit? How is anything in our shit that affects our health? Well, here's why it's cheaper to make and you can get addicted to it because it's chemical. This needs to stop. What comes from the earth should be free. To me, I believe what comes to the earth should be free. Now, if you grow and you put your energy into it, then you can energetically ask somebody, hey, I think that my time is worth this much for cultivating this beautiful work of art with the earth. I think that's absolutely acceptable. But energy is always free. It's always been. If they have UFOs and UAPs and Nikola Tesla's fucking place got raided and everything got took where he mastered free energy, then why in the fuck are we even participating in the society anymore? And I'll tell you, the reason I believe is because we are the battery that is, like you said, being fed off of, and our emotions and our desperation and our hopelessness is being fed off by those that we cannot see. It's a metaphor. We can't see the atrocities of Epstein and all these other billionaires doing terrible shit on these islands. Because you just got to remember, Epstein Island just got sold yet again. Who the fuck would buy that? Why would you buy that? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Oh, no. Why would you want that?
Why would you want that? You're like, dude, this kids assaulting center is just abandoned.
Burn it to the ground, bomb it. That's where they should be testing bombs, right there on Epstein. Let's just do that.
That's a great.
I think actually here's my solution for all of this. I'm a solutionist.
You are,
because I can't sit around and bullshit. I like I said, I put this mission on my back to tell the world about this because the moment everybody hears about this, to me, I don't know if we're going to have any more. I'm not saying anything heals, cures, or does any of that. But what I am saying is when you optimize the immune system, miracles can happen. And if you start to look into the science of stem cells, then you would know that it can do some pretty cool shit. So UFO technology, free energy, that's already out there. Why are we participating? And if we're not participating in something for our benefit, then it's benefiting someone else. So in the case of Epstein, why don't we go buy that motherfucking, why don't we go buy that motherfucker? Or why don't we go buy, I live in New Mexico, his ranch is here. I would love to crowdfund to buy his place and then dig. Drill, baby, drill. Let's turn it into a museum and open it up to the public and see where these fucking tunnels lead to. Why don't we just take it upon ourselves to maybe, and hey, I wouldn't do it unless I was armed. I need at least 1,000 people if I'm walking on the tunnels. I don't know if I'm running into a Nephilim down there, like in these deep underground military bases. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be running into. So at least 1,000 people before we start digging, armed, AKs, all that shit. Like maybe an RPG. We'll have all the RPGers in the front in case we need to, get the fucking Nephilim out of here right away, and then we'll pepper them with the ARs. Anyways, I ain't going down in no fucking tunnel, but I think that we should buy Epstein's places and then dig.
Sorrel Ranch, maybe you could win the lottery like Epstein did 3 times or 4 times. So everything you're saying to me resonates with me. I've been saying this on the show for a while. We are dealing with apex predators.
Yes.
I went on Rogan and he's like, do you believe in the lizard people? I go, well, they're all related. And I just brought up Obama and Bush. Let's not even talk about Queen Elizabeth with Val the Impaler and the Prophet Muhammad. I mean, that's the craziest one right there. That's the craziest one. And it's just like
time travel. The fucking Mark Zuckerberg. Hey, the Mark Zuckerberg thing where like there's all these celebrities that it looks like they time traveled. Would they be reptilian shapeshifting fucking vampires that learned the secret of life was in children blood and adrenochrome and ultimately stem cells? What I'm trying to tell you about that you don't have to suck to get.
Yeah, never suck a baby dick.
Bloody baby
look,
dick, especially. Bloody baby dick, especially.
The island got sold for 60 million.
60 million. Someone had
That's
60
chump
millions to buy it.
Do you think we could?
A kid assaulting. Yeah, you're not gonna get. You got, dude. The New York Times is desperate for money. You want to read our cool article? Give us $1.
Hey, actually, go to archive.ph and you put that link in there, and it'll strip all that.
Fuck time.
But
fuck you.
Do you think we could have crowdfunded that? Do you think we could have made it happen? 60 million.
You don't think six? This is why like I get so impatient because like I feel like I have solutions and I can fix everything like right now. Like that's how my mind works. And like why wouldn't we just get 16 million people? There are 16 million people that have $1. 16 million people have $1. And I guarantee you there's 16 million out of the 300 million. Well, there's a lot that are dying from the safe and effective. There's people that would be interested more than 16 million that probably have $1 to like fund it. This is why it's dumb to me. This is why it's stupid. Like, I think you could do that for a lot of things. I think that, hey, I'm going to start a militia to take back the world. And this is hypothetical. I am not calling for violence. This is just for entertainment purposes only. And I'm literally just using an example of what could potentially happen if people wanted to organize and actually like maybe do something to like change things. Like, what if you just had like 50 million people who are fed up just donate $1 and then have $50 million and then like you could, you know, use that money to like actually change things.
Get
and,
that
like,
GoFundMe going, bro. Get it going.
You know?
Let's go. I'm
like,
in, dude.
I think that would work. And by donating, you also are signing a notice to whoever we're sending a notice to that we, the people, feel this way. And we have decided to do whatever we need to maintain our well-being and our safety. And it's just a hypothetical. Like, you know, I think that it would be cool to buy Epstein's ranch and dig. I think that
I'm not against it.
No, I'm with you.
No, what you'd find some bodies.
But you guys remember when they were like, let's storm Area 51 on Facebook and it got a bazillion people signing up for it?
Yeah. How'd that go? Yeah.
But do you ever hear the theory that, because then somebody did let's storm the Fed and then they took that right down.
Yeah, right quick. Yeah.
But I wonder.
Oh, I'm getting arrested for anti-Semitism. Let's not get it twisted. I'm for sure.
But my question is that data for them? Who are the troublemakers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Could be. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
What
well, I'm already on a list, bro.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
already on a list.
Yeah, we're screwed.
I'm just like, when is? That's why I'm pushing back so hard on this, labeling everybody domestic terrorists, and I'm blocking people again on Twitter because so many of them aren't real people.
You have to.
It's just time to get rid of these people.
Because they'll get you kicked off. That's what happened to me, dude. I'm blocking everybody now. That's what Ryan Dawson said. You just got to block everybody.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Right, I put that thing I talked about at first about the guy who tried to get a job, so he left his kids at McDonald's so he could go on a job interview. You know, the nasty tweets with fake pictures and fake profile names.
Meanness.
Blocked,
just mean people.
Blocked.
Evil.
Goodbye. I don't need you here. I don't need you in my life. I don't need your...
I'm blocking the accounts that X tries to push on me all the time. Those accounts that I didn't follow that are just getting crammed down my throat with just dark energy stuff.
The algorithm
I'm
is so powerful on Twitter. It's like just get you into the silo. And you just like... I go, why am I agreeing with everybody on my timeline?
That's not good. Yeah.
Because you're in the ritual. Because you're looking into a black mirror that's showing you instantaneous realities that are happening.
It's so hard for me
now.
to shit with my phone now after that one episode where the guy's like, you're basically worshiping a pagan god by shitting and looking into a phone. It's a god of crap. There was a god of crap. Somebody.
Yeah, I was
somebody.
there.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, man, you imagine being the god of poop. That's just got to be like,
you're God, but how about the day you get promoted to God, you know, and they're coming in like, hey, buddy, it's your big day. You're getting
put your
promoted
time
to God.
in. You put your time in.
Am I the God of like wine or what like marriage? No, you're the guy. You're God of shit, dog.
Yeah,
diarrhea.
Of useless shit. No, just literally pooping.
Just pooping.
You are the god of pooping.
That's like Ant-Man in Marvel, you know, like the most worthless character that actually ends up changing shit. But you know,
it's just such a crazy.
What do you think?
guy.
I'm really curious because it seems like you're active in that space. What do you think of Brian Johnson? What do you think he's a psyop? There's a lot of weird energy around that guy right now.
The guy
he's
who wants
everywhere.
That's the guy who wants to stay young. The guy who's like, look at me, I'm drinking, I'm sharing my son's blood.
Yeah. Again, here. Think about this. Liz Crokin put out a movie called Out of Shadows a few years ago. And essentially it said that pretty much all of Hollywood was ran by the CIA, and the CIA had been infiltrated with Satanists. Yeah. So if these Satanists can infiltrate all areas and walks of life, like I have a girl who's a friend, her name's Emma Catherine, and she has like the longest, she has the biggest archive of documented SRA, satanic ritual abuse survivors on the internet. You can go follow her channel. It's Emma Catherine, and she talks to all these survivors. Now, whether some of them are real or some of them aren't, most of them that are talking are saying a lot of similar things. And they say that their families, look like normal families, and they seem like normal people in society. But on Wednesdays, they were sacrificing babies. Okay, they were sacrificing babies. They might have been in a church, but they were just in a church to use it as a front, and then behind the scenes, they're killing kids. So if let's just say that's real, well, then how many times could you extrapolate that? You would have to think. If energy is not created or destroyed, and polarity is a thing, and there has to be balance, there has to be probably as much evil in the world as maybe what we see as good, because now even the world, when you look at the world, more girls have OnlyFans than ever before. They're literally putting a price on their body and their energy and their time. If you were to sell anything, and you sold your body and not understanding that the mind is all, and that the body and the mind is the soul, essentially, people have sold their souls for money to do things that they don't want to do. So they, to me, have infiltrated all parts of society, entertainment, and they've done it to lower human consciousness down to the place of inhabitability for demons or lower level energies, right? That would make sense. They would lower our frequencies so that they could. I see people homeless now like never before. I'm in Albuquerque, just so you know. I'm in Albuquerque, and the homeless here. I was in Minnesota. You could see the same homeless for 4, 5, 6 years. The winter's up there. There's winter up there. It gets cold, real cold. Snow on the ground right now. Okay, Mom just sent me a picture. In Albuquerque, if I see a homeless person, I don't know if I'm going to see them again. This is the land of enchantment or entrapment, they call, but I believe that's a metaphor for this. And right now, if you're deciding that you want to be low vibrational, you're going to have to deal with whatever energy comes and attaches with the as above, so below. Give and receive. What you feel manifests. What we think, what we feel influences what we think, and what we think manifests. And so if you feel shitty all the time, if you're consuming shit and you're subconsciously not knowing that it maybe has a intention behind it to hurt you or lower your frequency, well, that's a part of what they call magic. I'm a retard, and I believe in magic and shit like that. And they say that magic is literally just kind of intention and belief.
I agree.
And that was the whole point of Jesus's miracles, and asking you, do you believe before every miracle? It was maybe coded language. I don't know. I'm a big fat retard. Anyways,
you're shredded, dude.
Yeah. So I believe, long story short, that, they have to lower our frequency. They have to get us afraid. They have to make us stupid. They have to make us, because when you're stupid, you can't think of solutions. Ultimately, being smart, when you really think about it, is being able to answer questions. And how can you answer questions? Experience. What's experience? Wisdom. You have to experience things to gain knowledge, and then knowledge becomes wisdom because you can see solutions for things. And that's the point. That's the reason why success is a science and it can be broken down. Everything can be understood. That's why this time has been crazy, because they're overloading the conscious mind. The only reason we know anything that's happening is because we're looking into black scrying mirrors showing us trauma and negativity and the most ratchet, mundane, lowest vibrational content and entertainment and bullshit. They have made retards, and by retards I do not mean people with Down syndrome who have telepathy like on the telepathy tapes and autism. I mean people who consciously choose to live in realities where they themselves are not reaching their highest potential. When we live in the information age and are able to instantaneously find answers to whatever it is that we want, we now have something called AI, which can instantaneously think for us. There goes the crown. And in that, we can literally use that information to dictate what we're going to do with our lives, how we act. And if you don't want to get better, to me, in 2025, if you don't want to become your highest optimal self, to give back the most to humanity, you're retarded. And you can't get better if you don't know what you don't know. And that's the problem. People they don't know what they don't know.
And they're arrogant about how much they don't know. They are so arrogant about what they don't know. And it's so crazy to watch, because we've been doing this show. You know, this show is over 8 years old. I mean, and in terms of culture, 8 years is forever. Just think of like how much different the internet is in 8 years.
The way I see it, it's two high schools. 2 full high schools. Like if you think about it, freshman through high school, I'm like, damn, that's 2 full ones. Because when you're in high school, you're like, oh, this is gonna take forever. We just did 2 of those.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some clip the other day with Angelina Jolie, like when the internet was kind of early, you know, and she's, you know, looks not much different than she does now. She's had a lot of great work done. But she was talking about like, I just can't imagine, you know, it seems like we're all going to be communicating with each other. And I mean, dude, it was not even a quarter of a generation ago. We had the internet. We didn't even know what it was.
It was so crazy.
And now this AI, I feel like this AI thing is another internet, but maybe times, you know, by multiples of what we got with the internet.
So
life changing.
I got a question for you guys. I got a question for each of you.
Ooh.
Do you believe
in life
that the
after
phone?
love?
Do you believe that the phone is Pandora's box?
I mean, it is bringing trauma to you daily. Daily.
Yeah,
Things
I mean,
you would never
the phone,
have heard.
as it represents all that technology, you know, that you can access through the phone. Absolutely, yeah.
Because essentially, you know, you have people like Joseph McMoneagle, who was the first remote viewer for Project Stargate, and you have the telepathy tapes and all this information coming out that we're actually the Ark of the Covenant supposedly being found through remote viewing and out-of-body experience, and literally showing that we have the ability to know things instantaneously and experience things instantaneously. And if you've ever done DMT or psychedelics, that oneness, that feeling that you get when you're tripping balls, all of that interconnectedness, that's our intuition, that's allowing us to feel things. To me, the phone is meant to distract us away from our potential. I'm doing a course with a gentleman named Alabar Jones. He's one of the top exorcists on the planet, and he teaches people essentially skills on how to remote view. And his group has actually run into some of the people at the Monroe Institute and, you know, some of Joseph McMoneagle's crew. And all of that is so real. He always talks about, you know, a story, and he's always, you know, trying to talk about the importance of when you go into the astral and when you actually learn how to direct your thoughts, you actually want to be more careful with your thoughts based off of understanding energies and feelings. All of you have been around a person who gave you a bad vibe. All of you have, at one point in time, not walked down a dark alley, or when you were out at night, felt something maybe and decided to walk a little faster. We all have an inclination for something that makes us do, whether it's our imagination or not, which I believe our imagination is God, Neville Goddard. So again, I think all of it's to distract, because when you have Pandora's box and you have Chat GPT and you have something that's AI telling you whatever you need to know, then why do you need to think for your
I agree, dude.
Totally.
Great episode, buddy.
Idiocracy coming down the track.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just think there's going to be two civilizations, and it's going to be big city versus small city. And people are going to move out of the big city who want to live
small city, or like you think rural is just gone? Is that what you're saying? Or you mean like rural versus city?
Rural versus city. Like, gotcha. you know, these giant cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, New York are going to be hellscapes where you just go there for the energy and the action and the possible hope of opportunity. And then there's going to be the people who live in the small country that don't want anything to do with that, and they're going to have a more proper existence if they don't flood it with drugs. That will be the big problem in the small.
You think that'll happen with colleges too?
I think the biggest death to college will be AI, because AI will take over all those jobs. Those jobs. I mean, everyone's always like blue collar jobs. Nah, dude, the jobs that are going away are the office jobs. Sadly,
creative too.
I mean, dude, there's an AI podcast out there that's people are making big money on. So
you showed us a music video that was amazing.
Like photography, dude, all those jobs. You're seeing now, it's starting at lower levels.
There will always be organic versions that people will enjoy.
Yeah, if you value that, though. But I'm saying it started now with these ads. You see, they're not paying for stock photography anymore. They're just you can tell that it's just a little off, enough now. It won't be soon, but... so if that job, that was kind of like the go-to gig for some like a gig person, a gigging person.
What are hot chicks gonna do now?
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's a whole field. I mean, it's just gonna wipe clean it with a scythe. Just go through different fields.
Fiverr's gonna be gone. Graphic designers, people making thumbnails, all that shit's gone.
All those Mohammeds that we worked with doing image design for us, thumbnails and stuff. Sorry, fellas.
I need to say this,
please.
Energy is the currency of the future.
Authenticity. Yep.
Influence, authenticity, and energy is the currency of the future. It doesn't matter what happens when humans continue to grow and get better and better and better. There was a 5-year-old who just went viral. I don't know if it was just, but it was this I saw the video of America's Got Talent. This 5-year-old's playing drums like he's been playing them for 30 years, and everybody gave him a standing ovation. And it was very interesting what he said he wanted to do with the money if he won. He said he wanted to give it back to all the homeless. And I feel like the meek are inheriting the earth. I feel like the righteous are inheriting the earth. Sci-fi was also a card in this book. And in this game, sci-fi, to me, has been used to pre-program society to dismiss realities that actually are as not real or inauthentic, when literally our imagination creates. So if that's the case, to me, the biggest sci-fi hits of all time can reflect what reality actually is. That would mean Star Wars or The Lord of the Rings are actual examples of potential reality. Hollow or inner Earth is a real theory. So if all of this is real, they want to distract you with the phones to make you a part of the AI and dependent on external energy, henceforth, Attack of the Clones. The drone wars, right? All of that, the clone wars, whatever.
Yeah.
And now you're either going to decide to tap in and unlock your full potential and see that you're one with Source. And the more one you become with Source, the more powerful you become. Or you go extinct because you never learned how to unlock the power that was within you and learn that the all is mind and consciousness creates. They say the word of God was with God, or the word was with him. The word of God was God. They talk about God being the word. I believe that life is simply the narrative and the dialogue that you have with yourself that no one else can hear. That's what I truly believe. And Think and Grow Rich also has this thing called autosuggestion. Napoleon Hill. Autosuggestion is real. Your brain is the ultimate program. Your gut is actually more powerful than your brain. That's why they say you should trust your gut. That's why gut health is now being focused on more than ever before, because people are realizing how powerful it is to heal the gut. What's the metaphor there? Maybe to trust your instincts. How many people don't believe in themselves enough to actually trust in their instincts? That's the war on humanity. You don't even have enough will or desire in you. They've killed the desire in you that is literally your life force to manifest and create in this world, to go out and strive and be your best optimal self to create whatever it is that you're supposed to give back to the world how you are. Most people won't even dream anymore. It's easier to show my tits on OnlyFans than fucking sit here and not have to strive and grind for fucking 15 years just for people to go, wow, your music is pretty dope. Hey, your music is really good. You're not signed to anybody. You do this all yourself. You haven't blown up yet. Wow, you're really smart. You actually have good points. Wow, that was we are living in a time called what I believe is the great humbling. Humbling, you have to humble. In martial arts, it's a perfect example. If you want to gain knowledge from a master, you have to become humble. Normally, you have to get your ass kicked. That's what humbling is in martial arts. You have to lose. How many people fear losing in today's world? They don't even have enough pride to lose and then decide to get better or learn. It's easier to scroll and just have somebody else tell you what reality is. It's easier to turn on the TV. You talked about this earlier, Sam. I wanted to hit on this. You said that our parents just didn't know. I'm going to humble myself. I laugh weekly now about every day how I am in 2025. Stupid I have been my entire life. I used to eat artificial flavor, sweeteners, sugars, and preservatives. Mike and Ike's was my favorite candy in the world. Dots. I used to live in
Jelly Bellies are just death.
Krispy Kreme. I'm a fat kid. Krispy Kreme. You said jelly beans or meat cereal? I used to live off of cereal.
Yep. Captain.
Give me some.
I used to pour sugar on top of my cornflakes.
Oh yeah, you would put sugar on so you could eat the sugar.
Yeah, dude. At the
Think about that. You would put sugar on sugar so you could enjoy the sugar better.
At the bottom.
But that milk with that sugar at the end was the best.
Bingo. 100 people. You guys get it. We were all literally retarded. And that's okay to admit. It's okay to admit.
It's
now that we know
okay to
better.
be retarded.
Go. And I'm not saying it's not. I am absolutely not saying retards are the closest people to God. That is why I think
put that on a t-shirt right now.
I believe here's why, because they are what they are without apology. If they're happy, they're happy. If they're sad, they're sad. If they're hungry and angry, they're hungry and angry. And they will show you that without fear and then love you afterwards. That is point. They show us essentially what to be. So I say, retard all the time. Some people might take offense to that. I don't, like you said, label anybody anything. I'm not black. I make music, yes, but to me, it's not even rap. To me, rap is debauchery nowadays. There's no intellectual property in it. There's no value in it. It doesn't do anything for your energy but lower your frequency and make you want to do tribalistic, ritual, dumb shit because they pray over the music satanically and put intention into it that I can feel. And as an empath, I don't like that. I don't like feeling things that aren't my own energy. That's why I only listen to really my music, or I only consume content from people like you, Sam, or people that I feel I energetically connect with. Why? Because it matters. The intention and the energy put into things. That's why AI will never be able. That's why when you actually create from a place of love, people can feel that and they want to participate always. That's why group gatherings still have value, whether it's a concert or what. And that's why they had to plague all of the most beautiful things. Can't go to church. And I know I talked about religion, but it brought people together. Church brings people together. That's why it's powerful. That's why power is emitted through a church. And old buildings from the old world were all churches with bells. I wonder why. Because resonant frequency matters, and people coming together and feeling things collectively matters, which is why the Schumann resonance can be affected with either our depression or our peace. And so what do you want to feel? What do you want to create? What do you want to manifest? I want to manifest a better world. I want to manifest only eating things that taste good and make me healthier and younger. I've gotten younger over the last 10 years that I've been on food technology that I never heard of because I was a retard that literally used to eat. Guilty pleasure, even though it would make me throw up every time I would do it, I would just have to have the sugar rush. Like that was what I did. I'm dumb. I can admit that, but I learned and now I'm better. And now because I got better, I want to give value back to the world and tell people about things that I know. And I think if we all do that.
Bang. Bang. That was a great episode. One more time, King Bao, tell them where they can find you.
King Bao TV. King Bao TV on Instagram. King Bao TV everywhere. Yes, BAU TV. You can find me on Minect if you'd like to ask me a question. Go on Minect. I have a profile. That's awesome. You can ask me questions and I'll give you semi-retarded answers. But that's okay because I wear a copper crown and it's okay.
Well, you're the king of the retards, buddy. Congratulations on everything. Great episode. You have an open door to come back anytime you want. And let's break down the episode. All right. Great episode. We love King Bao. What did you guys think?
Bro, if you come in with the crown, you're in.
And shredded abs.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'd kill for abs. I mean, just kill some.
Do a sit-up.
You got to start off with stop eating junk. He said no sugar, no
diet
cereal.
Yeah, I'm just bad. It's so hard not to eat the good stuff.
Are you still off the sugar?
It's fun stuff.
You still off the sugar?
I'm doing pretty well with it.
You're
you're
off sugar?
I'm not off it, but I've limited it so much. It's
carbs and sugar.
Well,
or just sugar?
I'm trying to get Dana not to give me bread.
It's so hard.
So hard.
Oh, and if it's in the house,
Dana's a great cook.
If the person in the house with you is not on board with what you're trying to do, you're fucked. You're sunk.
I agree. Great episode. We love him very much. So he has an open door to the show anytime. Guys, week that was Iran, Israel put out more documents bragging that the war with Iran's going to start. They're going to hit them soon.
It sounds
and by their own words, Israel says it's going to be the biggest war since World War II.
What's the source on that? I haven't heard that one.
Leaked documents.
Leaked documents. Okay. That's been reported?
Yeah. And how about the fact that it just came out that Israel has decided not to tariff us?
That's so funny.
Isn't that insane?
What was that thing where there was something that got released in Telegram between politicians?
Yeah, that's like a week ago.
You think that was like on purpose? You think that was
maybe? I mean,
we talked about it on Broken Cinema. It was the guy for the Atlantic, the editor.
It is basically revelation of the method.
You think? I mean, I think that was good information to have. Honestly, I'm glad that they screwed that up because it's fascinating to see them kind of talk through the Yemen strike. You know, it could be they put it on purpose to make us think they have like actual discussions like that, you know, about this kind of shit.
Well, look, we don't just bomb kids. We think about it first.
Yeah. No, I mean, there was a chance we might not have done this. You know, that's really what they want us to think.
But, I was talking, about we talked with King Bao about the Hitler and to get Jews to move to Israel. I think it's going to get really crazy. And I agree with King Bao. It's way above these Abrahamic religions, and we're getting into like really dark Malachian. It's interesting. Like, my love of Roseanne Barr. She has been everywhere talking about the Muslim Brotherhood, and she gets everything right except for who is behind it. And I'm not saying it's Jews, which means I'm going to get killed, but I'm saying it is dark arts, Babylonian, Malachian people, like Ian Ferguson says, that are doing this. She's so right she's so right. And then she just can't get into it. Like, to blame anti-Semitism on October 7th when it's so obvious that they not only let it happen, they wanted it to happen to the point where you're going to almost say they were behind it. And here we are. Anti-Semitism laws are trying to be passed. They're actually passed in many states, which is absolutely ridiculous because there's never been one law passed to protect white people. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very similar to the hate crime laws.
If you look at like standard of living, Jews are 1 or 2, depending on which metrics you use. You know, you know, again, when I had a wonderful discussion with Ben Benkus, you know, it starts off that Jews don't run the media, Jews don't run Hollywood, and then pressed, okay, they do, but they should because they basically created it. Okay, then why did I just get gaslit into saying that when you in your heart know it's true? And if you know it's true, then who's being behind all the anti-white movement? The media in Hollywood. I mean, even the chick Snow White, where they're trying to convince you she's Colombian, she's a Polish Jew.
Is she really?
Yeah, her dad is a Polish Jew.
What? She's half Colombian? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and you know everyone identifies by what dirties the water.
Yeah,
there's more oppression in that.
A lot of people thought that was hilarious. You saying that was.
What?
On Broken Sim, you said that, and people commented. They thought that was very funny. A lot of people did.
Yeah, I mean, everybody does. You know, if you know, Moses, who runs the roast battle, he said to me one time that stuck with me that the lighter the skin, the more militant they are. Like, you know how they completely darken Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. They make them way darker than they really are in life.
In photos, you mean?
Yeah. They are red bone, dude. They what they call high yellow. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Whoa, I did not know that.
Yeah, they're light skinned, dude. They're really light skinned. But if you look at the photos, they're as dark as you can get.
Yeah, I picture them I picture Martin Luther really dark, but that's because obviously Photoshop and shit that they've used.
Did you see Iran? Their big move was to complain to the UN about us talking about the ultimatums and stuff. They complained. They went to daddy. And,
well, I mean,
what's the UN going to do? Trump
the UN's
doesn't give a shit about
nothing.
the UN. Yeah. And then they're hoping Russia will bail them out. That's what I've been reading.
Well, Russia and China have a military pact with Iran.
I don't think they do anything. It'd be just like Iraq. You know, they were allied with Iraq before we.
Well, you know, if Iran kicks off, Taiwan kicks off.
That's the thing, isn't it? Is that the domino that is China's like, all right, you're doing that? Hey, fine. We're gonna take Taiwan back.
Yep, that's exactly what's gonna happen. And
I hope he's not dumb enough, Trump, to stumble into that. The Iraq. I mean,
it's
Iran
a very bipolar. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
It could be a negotiating tactic because I saw today that they were kind of backdooring, like possibly going back to the nuclear table, talking about denuclearization.
Well, I mean, like you know, for whatever you want to say about Obama, and we are not. At least I am not a fan of his in any way on this show. I've been very vocal.
I didn't even vote for him.
I voted for him the last time I voted for either a Democrat or a Republican for president was in fact Obama's first term because I bought into we need change.
The great black hope. You bought
nobody told me he was a Bush. Like they never told anybody.
Another guy that gets darkened by society. You know, they have you believe he's
hood.
Yeah, straight hood. Yeah.
You know, like when we show that the Doors brothers. They always have him doing fucking gangbanging with chicks with guns, and he's really just a gay black man who's from the elites, you know?
But yeah, I just hope they don't stumble into this Iran thing.
I hope they don't either, dude. I don't have any.
You were about to give Obama some props or something for what?
Well, he was the one who made a deal with Iran, which a lot of people think they took that money and they sent to Hamas, which they didn't because Israel and the United States funds them. I'm not saying they didn't give any money.
Hamas had plenty of money. Money was not Hamas's problem.
So it's scary times, and you know, like I said about Trump, from the moment that motherfucker looked like he was going to win, I said, I don't care if you like everything Trump does. You should still hold his feet to the fire. And and here we are, holding his feet to the fucking fire.
Like you mentioned it on one of the episodes. This thing with him talking about a third term too. Like, I mean, just that him not, he should shoot that down out of hand. I mean,
he's the one pushing it. Yeah. It's so crazy.
I know, and you'll have people say like try to gaslight you about that. Be like, he's not. He said.
Well, you remember that famous quote he said at his rallies when he was running for his second term. Vote for me, and you'll never have to do it again.
Christians, yeah, right.
Christians, vote for me. You'll never have to do it again.
So he's not reaching.
What do you mean?
Him saying a third term, he's not just trying to like piss people off. He really thinks like he.
No,
I think so. Yeah,
I think that.
Isn't that unconstitutional? I mean,
we've had it before.
It's the 22nd Amendment. Yeah, it was Roosevelt, and then people, people treat Roosevelt today like he was, Jesus or something. But there were a lot of people who weren't happy with him at the time. He was a tyrant.
His best friend was best friends with Hitler.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, and he was a tyrant, and so the 22nd Amendment comes on because they didn't want that again.
Yeah,
and it used to be because
you know what that opens up. Obama running again.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Well, they asked Trump this week. They said, hey, how would you feel about if they ran Obama against you for a third term? And he said he would love that. That's what Trump said.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Trump, you're like, I'll curb stomp anybody.
Get him too. Yeah.
Down low Browns, I'll curb stomp a down low Browns.
He'll call her Big Mike.
Oh,
he'll call her Big Mike and be like, yo, she got a little ding-a-long.
Well, that's where you love Trump the most. is when he's in verbal combat.
They're not talking about Michelle. They're talking about Barack Obama.
No, I know, but I'm saying Trump will start dissing Michelle and be like, what's up with Big Mike? You know what I mean? Just at that point, he's like, let's do it.
Can you imagine that? Oh.
Well, that's why I think the Obama's brand is dead.
Oh, I don't.
I think based on her.
Not with those psychos, liberals. I mean, come on. They almost vote. They would have voted.
Do you see, Johnny, what Democrats are polling at with when you go everybody?
Yeah, it's great.
They're polling at 21%.
They're getting what they deserve.
And if you do just liberals or just Democrats, they're at 40%. The Democrats. That means their own party majority doesn't want to vote for.
Yeah, they're all very disappointed.
And this thing that happened in Wisconsin is not. Everyone's freaking out.
What's that?
Well, when this judge got in Wisconsin, there was a big everybody went to Wisconsin trying to push hard to get a conservative judge in there, but that abortion issue is going to drive people crazy, dude.
Well, I haven't been trying. Is this an abortion rights thing? Is that what it is?
Well, yeah,
like the Supreme Court of Wisconsin or something.
Yes. So everyone's freaking out now. A Democrat one, which they think they're going to use to.
Oh, Elon tried to influence it. He says this is a Newsweek headline. Elon wasted $25 million on Wisconsin Supreme Court election failure.
Dude, he wasted $200 million on a fucking baby's mama. I don't think $25 million. He just goes to his couch to find that.
Exactly.
He has what, 400 billion or something like that?
He wipes his ass with $25 million.
Yeah, he wipes his ass with
Dude, they sent me a check in the mail for like $50 for registering to vote in North Carolina.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I got a check. Elon Musk. Did you know they were doing that? That PAC?
Is that legal, by the way?
I didn't think so, but you'd go on their website, right, and say, hey, do you commit to, and of course I didn't even vote, right, but they still sent me the money.
Johnny just cashing checks.
It was $47.
Wouldn't it be great if he sent you another Tesla?
Yeah, I mean.
Hey, is that stock coming back?
Tino Sanchez had the funniest thing. No. He goes, to all the people keying Teslas and blowing up Teslas, just know when you destroy a Tesla, the insurance company just sends them a new Tesla.
Yeah, that's so funny. Did he tweet that or something? That's
Nobody was saying that. I don't even know.
Right.
Hey, Johnny, you have no scare and maybe someone get in your car? You're out there living it.
How could they? LA, every other car is a Tesla.
True.
If your job was keying Teslas, you'd be the busiest person on the planet, just going around keying
they're keying mostly Progressive's cars.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
What those people do to you, it's so dumb.
No, dude, it makes me more want to get like a Cybertruck or something. Like if I had that kind of paper,
as soon as they change the design, I'll think about it. But then, Johnny, I already have kids because you're cooking your balls.
I have my shit checked. I'm good.
Okay, Johnny's been jerking off into a cup.
I'm not gonna get into it. But I think a lot of
that's
is
the thing, Sam. Just don't jerk off in the Tesla, and your balls will be good.
No, dude, I already have trouble with moose knuckle. I have to drain these things, or else I'm gonna become an internet meme more than I already am.
That's so funny. Dude.
Moose knuckle. Moose knuckle.
You do need a little room down there. You gotta pull the.
I wear these because of how I sit. My pants get pulled back. Yeah. But great episode today.
So fun.
Let's hope and pray. If you go to samtripoli.com, you can get my dates again one more time. I'm going to be I'm going to be in tonight. I will be at the Comedy Store for Comedy Cast. I'm telling you guys, come to this while you can.
Tonight?
Yeah.
This is what?
Dude, look at that lineup.
Oh no, next week. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go back to my dates. Sorry. Go down. Go. Nope. The other way. There we go. This week, Thursday night, tomorrow or tonight or last night.
Just
I
say
don't
the
know.
date, maybe. That's what is it?
On what is it? The third your show
Yeah,
is.
third.
Depending on when Johnny gets this to me, because Johnny works hard.
Tomorrow, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pitch your
Thursday.
show.
Thursday, we don't joke the same. And Redondo Beach, me, Sam Tripoli's headlining. We got Nitty, E-Zone. That's going to be a little bit of a stoner
All
section.
your favorite drug addict Mexicans
exactly.
will be
Yes, all of them. Even the dead ones. Pull up.
there. Even the dead ones pull up. And then on Saturday, I am at Portland, Tennessee, not Oregon, Tennessee.
really?
I'm doing the Third Eye Carnival with the Slow News Days guys, and all your favorite savages will be there. Then on the 8th of April, can you believe it's already April? I'm going to be I'm telling you guys, get your tickets while you can to Comedy Chaos. I don't know how much longer it will go, mostly because it's completely changed comedy in LA and everyone's ripping it off. So it's got a lineup of killers, myself, Bobby Lee, Whitney Cummings, Fortune Finster, Adam Ray, Jeff Dye, Pete Lee, and Brenton Bilcombe will be there. Brenton is a good friend of mine and very excited that he is a part of the show that night. Tacoma, Washington, I'm at the Tacoma Comedy Club with Eddie Bravo. That's on a Thursday night. Then Friday and Saturday, I'm by myself at the Tacoma Comedy Club 2 nights in a row doing the small room, dropping Hammer of the Gods. Then the revival is back on the 1st of May. I'm so excited. 1 hour of just me talking out my ass. 1 hour. We're doing politics. We're doing spirituality. We're doing pop culture. We're pissing people off.
These are fun. I've been to them. These are
Yeah,
fun.
a lot of crowd work, a lot of talking. And then Bellflower, California. That will be at the stand-up club. And then more dates to come in June and on. I'm taking a lot of May off. I'm doing a lot of local shows. I'm being honest with you guys. I am doing insane work on the premium content. It is the best of the best. A lot of dangerous, even though there's not that much dangerous anymore. You can talk about pretty much anything, but I'm having your favorite conspiracy theorists come on, do content with me. Whatever this is the best of the best. Check that out. I'm very blessed to do with Austin Picard and my man, Brad Binkley. Check out their stuff as well. And then I'm trying to put up the best I can, about 3 episodes a week on Tinfoil Hat Rockfin as well. I put 1 or 2 on there. I'm also on Substack with 1 episode a week if you want to do Substack, or our good friends over there at Locals. Cash Daddies, how's it going?
He is killing it. We have had
12 new people signed up.
A ton of volatility in the markets, as you know, up and down, and that's the real opportunity for the folks over at Cash Daddies. The community there has been coming up with some great ideas too, and as you can see there, Howie is a busy man. He's constantly posting videos.
Been three in the last 11 hours.
Yeah, he's on top of it. So yeah, check it out. We talked about the Hooters bankruptcy on the last episode.
Sad day.
Sad day. OnlyFans killed Hooters.
It really did, didn't it?
Killed it. Okay, and then if you go back to the website, shirts. Go to shirts. I'm so excited. Go up. Oh yeah. Go to shirts. New shirt is up. Look at that one.
Woo.
Yeah, look at that. The new Project Bluebeam, the new Project Blue Bigfoot, Project Bluebeam, Project Bigfoot Bluebeam. Look at that new one. Go up. Oh, Common Sense is the new punk rock. That's available in any color you want. New shirts all the time. Look at that one. Bang. Click that one more time. That's a good looking shirt.
Can't see it.
Project Bluebeam. Look at that. Bang. I love that. It's a fake Bigfoot invasion. That's what we're doing.
I see. They're like projectors. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yep. Okay. And then if you go to samtripoli.com, go down. Oh, I just got an update on the new Chaos Twins. It's coming. It's almost done. So grab your issue now, number 2. Very excited about that. And all of our friends at Buy Gold and Silver at Wise will Rife Technology, AquaCure Hydrogen Brown Gas, Pat Militant's Mineral King. Grab those real quick. Again, my supplements I took it in between the shows today. It's how I keep going. Harley Ray, if you need candles, crystals, anything like that. Sage, it's all there. EMF Rocks. My good friend over there at Joel Staley, if you're looking to get in shape, Joel's sent me videos of people who've hired him, lost 50 pounds. And then, hey, if you love how good XG has been on these shows, it's our good friends at Brain Supreme. Go check them out. Microdosing for you.
Oh, I love it. It says next level shit.
Next level shit. And then finally, Off the Grid Prometheus. And then Nuke Social. All my social goes there. And it's a great way to just keep it clean. And you don't have to worry about any.
I guess I really should be on there. I'm the one that's currently nuked right now.
Yeah,
for people who have been nuked.
Join us. Go down. And all that stuff. What do you got from us?
Hit the like button, subscribe. I am on Telegram. That is really me on the Tinfoil Telegram. So come say what's up.
Send nudes.
No, it's not fake XG on the Tinfoil Telegram. Check out Broken Sim. We're having a fabulous time over there. Also, at Broken Sim on Twitter, if you want to catch me, because again, I'm still banned from the fucking X.
I'm sorry. Enjoy these highlights.
Welcome to the #1 podcast in the world. XG marks the spot. If these glasses don't say #1 podcast in the world, I don't know what does. I also got the #1 producer / #1 graphic designer chilling me. Put the camera on you, girl. There you go. Now hit the like button, guys. And subscribe, because I know.
The thing is that Cassie was seeing both of them, and neither one of them knew.
So she does belong to the streets.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why it's kind of like
this doesn't help her case.
No, it doesn't. So then when Kid Cudi was like, why is he mad? Like, I thought you guys were over. They weren't over. She was still doing freak offs and didn't tell Kid Cudi, and P didn't know. So according to them,
this doesn't help her case because
that one didn't help. That's why I was just like, oh shit. And then when they're saying that like when she was with him, like Kid Cudi, she didn't mention any freak off stuff. No, he didn't know anything about any of it. He just knew when.
Girls with
the Yvonne got
physical in the denim overalls.
Yeah.
Big. What's her hat? Where she's farting. She has nothing to do with the video. But
the guy said that like it was his birthday and he wanted to.
So whatever. You're talking about the guy with that.
With the balloon.
With the balloon.
Yeah. So he said it was his birthday, and he wanted to go up to Theo Vaughn and have him like take a video of them popping the balloon, and then I guess Theo got mad or something.
But in Theo Vaughn's defense,
if you pulled the ass and the dick off her face and you look down, she's like, is she smiling? You're good.
Yeah. Did he start before you did it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll make sure. How do you have?
I don't love him that much.
No. But that is a sign of love.
That is a sign.
That is a sign of love. I ain't gonna lie. I don't. No girls ever loved me that much.
No. No.
But that is a sign of love, and not only it's definitely a sign of love because it's for a big fool.
That's what I'm saying. They're big boys.
Yeah, they're big boys and they're hairy boys. Like they're not gonna.
Juno knows.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
Did you hear this story that Mike Johnson told the leader of the House? He was talking about how he talked to Biden near the end and was like, "Listen, Biden, Mr. President, I got the people who are running like the pipelines of natural gas to like Russia or somewhere overseas somewhere, and they want to know why you shut it off with that executive order the other day." And Biden was like, "No, I don't, you're talking crazy. I didn't shut anything off."
Yeah.
And he's like, No, you really did. I promise you." And he's like, "No, I didn't. What that was, I commissioned a study for them to look into, the safety of natural gas." And Mike Johnson's like, "Listen, Mr. President, with respect, do you mind if I just go get this thing and show it to you?" And he shows it to him, and Biden clearly just didn't. He's signing shit and
He
doesn't know what it
auto-penned
is.
it.
Yeah, he auto-penned it. He doesn't.
Meaning they were just doing it without him.
Putting it in front of him. And yeah, well, now Trump is saying that all of his pardons are illegal because they were done by auto-pen.
Oh, my God. I know I heard that. I don't know how I feel about that.
Trump announced it, man.
It starts a precedent, which I'm not against.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if it's that important, you should have to put your own signature.
By the way, if you're getting a pardon, you've done some shady shit. So, hey, I say pay the piper.
Isn't that crazy, though, that those pardons might not be valid for...
Yeah, it is very weird to me.
I saw a story, though, of a liberal publication trying to defend it, saying that presidents have been doing that going back to, like, Thomas Jefferson. Apparently, he has some kind of thing where he could, like...
Thomas Jefferson loved to use AI to sign stuff.
It's so funny. They'll defend anything.
I mean, dude, the Biden years will people will look back at them and be like, that was literally the weirdest 4 years.
Oh, we're getting a book soon. I heard a few journalists have like serious books about how not home he was toward the end there.
No, how the whole thing was just sci-fi.
Yeah, it's interesting.
No, it's scary. Like Kamala Harris would have been even more of that. Would have been everything you hate about Trump right now. If you hate about Trump, just add trans, fat feminist, and angry BLM to it. That's what you get. If you have Kamala Harris in there.
And I think she was more of an empty pantsuit, honestly.
No,
she's just the Democratic Party.
She would have just been a Kardashian. She would have booted her husband, getting long dick downs, just doing blow with rappers.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
What the Democratic Party would have been in office. That would have been running the country right now.
So the big story now is Harry Sisson, has been excommunicated by the left for stories, him asking for naked pictures.
It's ridiculous. They call it, you know what the word they use now is sex pest is what they call it.
And now what's going on is that the left, which has convinced us that porn is feminism, is trying to convince us these poor little of-age girls were trying to going, oh my God, he was asking them for nudes. Women treat nudes like currency. It's basically bribes.
Oh, you're totally right. Yeah.
They're like, hey, let me into your world of access.
A nude is worth more than the U.S. dollar right now.
Yeah. If a girl goes, hey, I'll send you $100 or a picture of my hole, my double hole action, that's worth way more.
I think women
and that's how crazy it is.
I think OnlyFans women are going to start requiring gold instead of U.S. dollars. That's what I heard.
Dude, if I was going over to Saudi Arabia to get a Cleveland steamer from a Saudi, it would be paid in Bitcoin.
That's funny. There's some. Have you heard this claim that he can't vote in U.S. elections? Like he's not a citizen. I've heard he claims to be, but some people are saying Harry Sisson is like not American.
What is he? Where's he from?
Let's see.
Get town.
Per the FP, whatever that's the. It's the Free Press. Okay. He's a Singapore-born Irish immigrant and cannot vote in American election.
He's not a citizen?
That's what they say, but he claims to have voted, so I don't know. He's like tweeted where he's like, I proudly voted for Kamala. Now, just because you voted doesn't mean you're a citizen, as we know in this country.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And now Trump's pushing that whole thing about making it so you have to do basic things like show an ID. Like
you had, and it's funny, Europe, where a lot of, the most liberal people in the world, they require voter ID in a lot of those countries.
Dude, everywhere in the history of time has. It's so obvious you're faking it. And then again, we're going to get into state rights versus federal rights. And we on the show are
federal elections. They're federal elections. Why wouldn't you require federal? Why couldn't the federal government make restrictions on requirements for voting?
I'm more concerned about state elections.
Yeah, I mean, but to me, like if it's a state election, let the states decide, sure. But for federal elections, why shouldn't the state be allowed? I mean, the federal government be allowed to impose restrictions.
Dude, can we start a change.org to get me to go on Gavin Newsom's podcast?
Oh, that would be so.
It would be the shortest podcast in the history of time. I'd be like, everyone thinks you're American Psycho, right? Like that you'll just lie to people's face.
I think he would go back on you. I think
we would go at it.
I think he would play with you, actually. I think he would.
He's like, yeah.
It's so funny. It couldn't be more obvious what he's doing now.
Yeah, but I think he's getting his dick kicked in. It's almost like a humiliation ritual that he's just like, okay, I'm going to get flogged. And then at the end, I'm going to come out of it okay.
Well, I think that's what he thinks. That when he comes out the other end, people are going to be like, you know what? He's kind of like a cool liberal. You know, he's like the cool liberal that we can all hang out with, maybe vote for.
Yep, 100%.
That's what he's trying to do.
100%, Johnny.
And if you look, like, did you see the thing where he was here? Let me show you this, dude. This shows you the level of psychopathy you're dealing with Gavin Newsom here. So he claimed that he never said, and nobody in his office ever said Latinx, the term Latinx.
Yeah, I love that.
And bro, he said it like a million times. Here's this, and this was CNN reporting on this. Credit.
Not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So, by the way, the funny part about this is CNN is reporting on it because they view him as betraying the left by coming out against the term Latinx.
Yeah, yep.
So that's the only reation they're reporting on it, to be clear. But here you go. This is fascinating.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah,
we agree?
where did that even
No
go?
more Latinx,
like,
everybody.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. I'm like, what did people tell
He has a weird
There
head,
was a
Kurt.
person who used Latinx. It was actually
Charles
really
Cook, right?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
It was him. Right?
Yeah, that's right. And look, these aren't minor shifts. These are progressive issues that Gavin Newsom used to champion until fairly recently. And
Dude, when
now
you
he's
say
not just
progressive
walking away from
issues,
them.
it's
He's sort of
rich
acting
white
like they
people.
were never
Totally.
legitimate with that clip talking about
We're gonna show
Latinx
it in a second.
in the first place. But let's take Latinx. We did find somebody who used it repeatedly.
Stop.
She stepped all over his thing, by the way.
That's so funny. We found. Okay, keep going.
Isn't that funny? She stepped all over his thing, though. She was like, I guess he said it already. And then he was about to do this reveal. We did find somebody who said it. You could tell he had already written in his head what he was going to say, though.
Office. Let's take a listen to this.
I hope we can really paint a picture in terms of our consciousness of how impactful this has been on the Latinx community. The Latinx and black communities. You've got politicians that are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx. They're not even serious.
Like, how
He's
psycho
such a-
do you have to be, dude? There's just lie.
Oh, well,
You know he
because
knew he
that's
said
his
that.
job.
It's crazy, though, dude.
That's what I mean, dude, he is Trudeau. I bet you they've gone ass to ass before.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app or check us out at youtube.com/Sam Tripoli.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind. Tinfoil hat.